unraveling these mysteries. Stay a while and share your thoughts. Help us break down this mystery. Grab a seat, we guarantee you're in wonderful company. Unraveling these mysteries with Mr. and Mrs. E. Unraveling these mysteries with Mr. and Mrs. E.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Mr. E Crimecast. I am Mr. E. I'm joined tonight by Mrs. E and, of course, our guest, Auntie. How's everyone doing?
Great. How are you guys?
Good, very good. It's feeling like fall around here. What have you been up to today, Auntie?
Not really a whole lot of anything. I've just been cleaning the house, and my husband was gone for a few days, so he just got back today. So spending some time catching up with him, and that's about it.
Okay, good. Oh, right. He'd been out of town, right?
Yes, he'd been gone for about a week.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's right. So I'd like to thank our mods for coming in tonight. I see K-Mac and Dreaming of Blue Skies and Sandy Beaches, who is a new mod for us, but one of our favorite subscribers around here for a while. And Keep Up the Chatter, also helping us out tonight with moderating. Did I miss anybody on the mods?
Let's see. The Real Me Too
Okay,
is here.
Perfect.
And some of our awesome members, Lisa B. Always. I also see Metal Lass. I'm looking through the names I recommend. Southern Grammy Wolf, Kitty Cat. I don't know how you say that. Nurse Toe? And you, it's Nurse T-O.
Nurse
I
2.
don't see Nurse 2.
Okay.
Nurse 2. Maybe.
Let's see. Good Measures here. Graham's here, of course. Cheryl Light. Let's see. Who else?
Oh, yeah. So I saw CJ Media was here earlier. Looks like we've got Nick the Hat. Welcome in, Nick. Random the Dime. Lisa B. Always. Everett. Diane.
CJ.
Sunset Gazing. Graham, I know I saw earlier somewhere. So we do appreciate everybody for coming in, and blessings. Kind of go back to the beginning to see who was here right at the beginning.
And
there.
Karen's here. Karen Alarini.
Oh, Lady Tit for Tat's also helping us out. So appreciate you being here to help us with everything as well.
HM Hands. Nice Marie. Graham Cookie. Gypsy Vano. Barbula. Megan. Lots of people, and some new names. I see some new names as well.
Yeah, so we appreciate everybody joining us, folks that have been with us for a while, and people that are just now finding us. So just want to kind of welcome everybody in, and if for those of you that are a little newer to us, because I know there are new folks that join on all the time. We our true crime channel was inspired and by the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. We live in the county, Mrs. E and I do, and have a child with autism, and that's what drew us to the story in the first place. We didn't have a channel at all, and after a couple of months of him being gone, we decided to start a place where we could have logical, fact-based discussion on the disappearance without really an agenda, not knowing what the truth is, but just hoping that by talking this through and looking at new clues as they emerge, we could kind of get closer and closer to that, and hopefully bring awareness and new information to the people as those things emerge. You have something you want?
I just wanted to know if you wanted to go ahead and take care of that and talk about that, or do you want to wait?
We will. Well, we will get to everything about Dog, of course. About his trip to Tennessee, our thoughts on that, what's going on with AtNight. They've had, since we've been here, there have been a number of developments, some scary moments, even different tips that have come in. Dog, of course, has done a lot of media lately about Sebastian, which is wonderful. So we're going to get into all of that and court TV and everything, and some of our thoughts about how we should kind of what we can all do to assist and help out in this investigation, because you just never know what'll break the case open. It can really be anything. I like to read a lot on historic crime. And but before we ever got into this, I would read books and things like that on just older crimes and how these cases break open. And it can often be the most random small thing. You just really never know what'll solve it. And it just takes one person that remembers the thing they saw sometimes, and that can do it. So awareness is huge, and so we're always glad for all the new media, the court TV appearance, and everything that happens that way.
And Gypsy Vanna became a new member. Welcome, Gypsy. We appreciate you.
Yes, thank you, Gypsy. We appreciate that.
And I saw Mr. Tony Matheson gracing us with his presence.
Thank you, Tony, for coming in here and joining us also.
And I'm going to go ahead and welcome Gypsy to the Crime Docs. We do some trivia every month. We're going to do probably a few more things besides trivia, but trivia kind of is our thing. We enjoy it. Last time we did 80s and 90s trivia, and that was a lot of fun.
I think we had a super sticker too.
From Misty Moon.
Yeah,
oh, Misty Moon. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that, Misty.
I want to see what the sticker is. Okay, you go ahead and talk to people, and I'm going to find this sticker because it's.
We also got tips.
Look, it says good. It says good job.
Oh, that's cute.
Well, you don't know yet. We haven't done anything yet, so we'll have to earn that sticker.
Maybe she just likes you.
Maybe it's for last time. We don't know.
Thank you so much.
Misty. We appreciate it.
And Cheryl Light gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. That is so kind of you.
Thank you so much. We do appreciate that. Before we kind of get into our big topics, which are really kind of just the investigation as it's been going on for the last few days and things that are going on there were some kind of local stories that have happened, but they sort of relate to Sebastian's situation in an indirect way. So I just wanted to point a couple of those out. One, you might have heard about this, but there was a 4-year-old with autism that had gone missing here in Sumner County. Maybe was it 3 days ago? I think that he was safely found by a creek. Of course, everyone responded quickly and swiftly, and he ended up being found with a drone. Was how they spotted him on a creek side. So we, of course, are thankful for that, and that's usually, of course, that's the fear for everyone with a child with autism, especially one that wanders. You just never know. They can just slip out a door that's open or get up in the middle of the night. And so we're thankful to everyone in Sumner County that responded so quickly. And of course, whoever that drone pilot was that found that child by the creek, because the water is what, for some reason, these children with autism are often found near that water. And before anything terrible could happen, he was rescued. So that was great news, but it also kind of reminds us about Sebastian's situation and the overwhelming search and response that happened that really just didn't turn up anything, at least nothing that's been publicly made knowledgeable.
And I forgot to say, if you received a membership from Cheryl, please tell her thank you. That was very kind of her. Oh, hello, Nana. Welcome in. We appreciate you being here. Sorry.
Yes, thank you, Nana. It's always good to see you. What it makes me think of, this is one of those areas I know the public generally gives the authorities, the law enforcement, a hard time about this case. They're frustrated with them. Everyone understands in a way why. But that situation with that 4-year-old, that's the norm with the children with autism. It's usually that. It's usually that they've wandered from the home. So to me, that in those first few hours, at least, I don't blame them at all for treating it as an autistic child that wandered from the home. There might have been a point at which they should have realized that something else may have been happening, maybe quicker. Maybe they should have seen some other signs or picked up on things. But that their initial assumption would be that he would be a wanderer or wandered away from the home, considering the disability. I don't really fault them for that being their first, most likely assumption. Not that something nefarious, an abduction or something happened. So anyway, that reminded me of that. And then you have something?
Oh, I was just seeing that it's Tony's anniversary, so I'm going
Oh, is
to
it?
nicely tell Tony to get off the computer and
Yeah.
go spend time with his wife.
Unless this is where she wanted to be tonight, watching our stream. I'm going to guess not. So yeah, go enjoy the anniversary, and congratulations on that.
Congratulations, Tony.
One other story here locally that had happened that made me think of this case was we had a situation in Hendersonville where an elderly gentleman had been robbed, like his home safe, and they ended up catching the ladies less than 24 hours after the robbery, like 7 hours later or something. And it ended up being a former caretaker of his, so she knew how to access the home, inside job basically, and they caught them very quickly. And the way they caught them were license plate readers in Hendersonville. And so, of course, those license plate readers, it also solved the Trinity Bostic unaliving. If you remember that young lady we've talked about on this show before, that her life was taken right before the 4th of July. She was back behind that Costco. This might ring a bell for you if you've been following this case for a while, because for a short time, people believed that might have been Sebastian, because we didn't know if it was a male or female. Ended up being a 17-year-old from a nearby town. And anyway, the way they caught her abductor and the young man was those license plate readers. They caught him right away and everything. So they're all over. And so why wasn't that technology effective or helpful in this case to this point? And so I kind of have been rolling that around in my mind today, thinking about is it possible that maybe because we believe at this point that he's not a runaway, of course, that he either was abducted or he's no longer with us, or both, I guess, actually. But anyway, whoever took him very likely, of course, took him in a vehicle of some sort. And did they have the knowledge to avoid the license plate readers? Did they have changed out a license plate, perhaps? You could do a stolen plate, maybe a car that was paid for with cash or something along those lines. Or did they just know how to take back roads and avoid that technology? If that latter were the case, or actually any of this was the case, then this would be a very methodically planned kind of event. This would not be something you did spur of the moment if they were successful. Of course, it's possible law enforcement has license plates and knows exactly where these cars went, and for whatever reason have not been able to locate it, make an arrest, identify it, or whatnot. But anyway, that is technology in the area that we would hope would have been successful, and maybe they do have some evidence there.
And
Yes.
I want to say hello to Breezy is crushing on the Sandman. We've missed you so much. She says, I've missed the E family stopping by to say hi. We've missed you too.
Good
I'm
to see.
so happy to see you back, and I'm glad it's finally working again where you can chat.
Good. Yeah, I do. I do notice when people are here for a while, and I always kind of wonder, I hope they're all doing okay. When it's a name I haven't seen in a few lives. So I'm glad you're doing well. Good to see you back.
I need you to look at something.
Okay.
Aunt E, will you say hello to people for a second?
Yes, there's several people. Let's see, Polly Lanius. And she said so many people have fallen in love with Sebastian, and we pray that he's found soon. Absolutely. And I think that's why we continue to go on, is because we want to hopefully bring you the good news one day that he is found. Let's see who else. We have Lori Stewart join us tonight. Arctic Wolf Angel, War Eagle. So glad to see you. Lisa B. Always. Hello, Brenda, Ginger Girl. Ashes to Ashes, OG. Yes, Sebastian Strong. So glad that you could join us tonight. I think it's Jean Ann Simmons. Glad to see you. Misty Moon. Nana's Dragonfly. So glad that everybody could be with us tonight. Thanks for dropping in. We'll get started.
Okay, sorry. I'm going to pull up an article.
Yeah, so we're going to so there's some other things that have been happening in the area. We have a lot of we're going to get into this, some of the AtNight releases later. But one of the things I keep noticing is that they're talking about locations all over the country. It does seem that AtNight is going with the theory that he may be alive, or maybe likely alive. And they're, and a lot of the information they're putting out, like New York and coastal cities, and like Washington State and Oregon and Alaska, and all of this, it's made me wonder if what their working theory might be is that perhaps he has been trafficked somewhere, which I probably would have put in a very low likelihood at the beginning of this. But it seems like they mention, we'll get into this later, but they do mention having 8 surveillance teams around the country. And that seems like, I wonder why, where, and why are they watching 8 different locations? And so I have been kind of wondering if they're following or tracking some kind of human trafficking network of some sort. If you do think that he is possibly alive, then that would be one of the theories that could make a lot of sense in my mind, that what could have happened to him. So if we're going with that, then you would look at who operates in this area, because these you have different kinds of cartels and gangs that rule different parts of the country. So Mrs. E, are you ready to pull that up?
No, I'm having trouble getting it. Hold
Okay.
on.
Well, we'll
Just give me a second.
I remember early on, though, that was one thing, it was in the back of my mind, and I mentioned it, and you're like, well, I don't think the likelihood, but it just kind of keeps coming around. And I think that theory is viable, especially with the stuff that's been going on in Tennessee, and that I think you're getting ready to talk about.
I just can't seem to get this.
Yeah, she's just
up.
having trouble with the link for some reason.
Okay,
sorry. Did you get the one I sent you?
It didn't come through. That's why I'm trying to figure out what's wrong.
On your text message?
Yeah, so I emailed it to. Yes, I checked there. I am. It's not there. So you know what? I have another way of getting it. Just hold on. Just give me a sec.
Another reason I was thinking is some of the states that have been mentioned. Oregon, Washington State. I mean, you're right there on the coast. Oregon's kind of got a terrible reputation for that underage issue anyway. And these coastal cities,
New York, and they also mentioned Canada, so that is a border area as well.
Right. Yeah.
Okay,
so that's in New York City, and I don't know, just it just made me wonder if that's their working theory, or at least one of the options they, because we don't know what information they've got other than what they're willing to share with us. So I've been trying to look at the stuff that they put out and see what kind of patterns are there, and I've wondered if that's one of their primary theories.
Yes, and Graham said, how would he have been picked to be trafficked? That's definitely one of the things that would be need to be answered as to how he got to where he was trafficked.
And I think at this point you kind of have to take all possibilities at this point. So we need to look at everything.
Yeah, and that's why we didn't really discuss this as an option much early on, because the odds are extremely low that a 15-year-old with special needs and a male would be found in that situation. More likely if he were younger and female, like that's just where the odds are, but not impossible. I mean, it does happen. So maybe, and we haven't found him, and there's no trace so far. So it is one of the possibilities. So
right.
So anyway, that makes you want to look at these networks and things. So this article, let's see, there were a few on this. So this was released on November 15th. And this is from Chairman Green on Trent. I'm going to mispronounce this. Tren de Aragua, I guess.
That's the way I would say it. Tren de Aragua.
Tren de Aragua, presence in Tennessee, the consequence of destructive open borders policies. Okay, so this is from the in Nashville, Tennessee. Today, the House Committee on Homeland Security Chairman Mark E. Green issued a statement following reports that the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is now warning that the violent Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua is openly operating in the state. And we had seen something about this. we saw personally, we had seen this TBI statement a few days ago as well.
Let's skip over.
Yeah, let's skip the political part.
You might read the other part that I sent you. It's got some more detail in it as well.
I didn't get that. That's why I'm
okay. So I'm going to skip his quotes and just go straight to the background part.
I think that's for the best.
Yeah, because I mean, he's it's always going to be the political aspect, but this is the nuts and bolts of it. Background: transnational gangs like Tren de Aragua, the largest criminal organization in Venezuela, have rapidly expanded their presence and operations in the United States under the Biden-Harris administration. According to one report, Tren de Aragua, called MS-13 on steroids by one federal official, has taken advantage of the ongoing border crisis and has been able to push members into the United States and beef up its presence in cities nationwide, where law enforcement and elected officials are gravely concerned about the type of violence they are seeing. Further, members conceal themselves amongst the general population of Venezuelan immigrants seeking to enter the United States illegally. Nationwide, law enforcement agencies have launched more than 100 investigations of crimes tied to suspected members of the gang. In a recent internal Border Patrol bulletin, agents were warned that more than 1,000 members of the gang had infiltrated the United States and had even been given the green light to target members of law enforcement.
Wow.
And so what TBI had said just the other day was that every city in Tennessee right now was having an issue with this particular gang, that it was on the rise, that they were outnumbered 2-1 by estimated gang members to law enforcement officers, and that they were at the heart of a lot of the criminal activity operating in the state right now. So
they're referred to the MS-13 on steroids, so they're worse than the MS-13 gangs by a long shot.
Yeah, and I had never heard of them before, but apparently this has become a huge problem. I mean, we know that some of the violent actors have been coming from Venezuela that have been entering the country, and so I guess a lot of these folks have been having ties to this particular organization. So, if we think that it is possible that he was somehow ended up trafficked, then this could be one of the networks that could have made that happen. So it's just something to consider, to keep in the back of our minds until we have more information. But because of this investigation from AtNight being all over the country, that's where I started to think maybe this had something less to, maybe a large organization maybe playing a part in his disappearance in some way. And if that's true, I mean, as horrible as it is, if that's true, then that gives us hope that he may be out there somewhere still alive. So we, in a sense, we almost hope that it's a situation like that, as much of a nightmare as that might be. It's better than not being here. What do you think? Any thoughts on that, Auntie E or Mrs. E?
No. Well, I think it's just disturbing that they've infiltrated, areas such as Nashville and Hendersonville, Gallatin, all that area. I've seen, not just one or two news reports, but many, many news reports about it. So I think people in the area also need to make sure to keep their eyes open and pay attention to the surroundings, because it's a very scary situation.
I'm going to put up something for you to see. I've found some stuff here. Okay. But I want you to refer to it as HT. So
HT.
Yeah.
Okay. A little surprise for me on the live stream tonight.
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
It's because I don't want to lose monetization.
HT. Okay,
yeah. Can you read over here? And
I'll yeah.
That people can read. I just want you to refer to it as HT. So
gotcha.
Hold on. Okay.
They said they've opened up over 1,000 criminal, cases from this.
I did not know that. I just found this.
Okay, I'll have to make my screen bigger here.
There you go.
Okay, so what is this from? Where did you find this? Oh, I see. Okay, well, I'll just read. family members are involved in nearly. Oh, sorry, I lost
That's
it.
okay. You were asking me where it was from, so I was trying to find
Oh,
it.
okay,
It's from the Counter Traffic Data Collaborative.
I see. Oh, okay, very good. Family members are involved in nearly half of child HT cases. Is that what we were?
Or T cases.
CT cases, I guess.
Yeah.
New data from the world's first data portal to include HT data contributed by multiple agencies. Almost half of identified cases of HT begin with some family member involvement, according to a newly released data from multiple organizations that have been analyzed together for the first time. Oh, so that's interesting. These statistics are based on data released through the Counter HT Data Collaborative, CTDC, the world's first data portal to include HT cases, case data contributed by multiple agencies. The extent of family involvement in the HT of children is up to 4 times higher than in cases of adults, showing an urgent need for enhanced counter efforts specifically targeting children and their families. HT of children key statistics. Recruitment.
Wow.
So that's it. Okay. So I'm looking at this for the first time.
Wow, that is crazy.
Okay. So recruitment into it, 41% is by the family or a relative. 14% is by an intimate partner, 11% by friends, and 34% by
Other.
Main sectors of forced labor. Begging. Oh, okay. So like if you had your children out, is that what that would mean?
I guess
Is that
that's
we're
what
talking
they have them do.
Yeah, when you have kids out asking for money, that kind of thing.
Well, you often see, yeah.
We've seen it a few times.
And they make it look like it's a family or something.
Right.
Domestic work, hospitality, illicit activities. And then the main means, I'm sorry. So in case you're just listening, begging would be 19%. Domestic work is 18%. Hospitality is 8%. And illicit activities is 6%. Then the main methods of control, 24% of the time is psychological. 16% of the time it's physical. 10% of the time it's SA related. And then 9% of the time it would be psychoactive substances. So some form of addiction and such.
Yeah.
It's about 2/3 of the time going to be female. So 66% of the time. And then the exploitation type, 31% are trafficked for forced labor. 58% are trafficked for SA. 31% forced labor. That's kind of surprising, actually.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by that as well.
You remember, like stories from centuries ago, you'd hear the stories about people being at a tavern and getting knocked out and thrown in a boat. And the next thing they know, they're in some, camp, digging in mines in another country they don't know. You'd hear those kind of.
What, like the pirate house?
Right.
In
it's Savannah.
Yeah.
And then the tunnels in Seattle.
Right.
That kind of stuff happened out there, and those people would end up in Asia. If you've ever been to Seattle, they've got those tunnels that tunnels are all. Anytime you see tunnels anywhere, you should be a little. You can kind of assume there's some red flag and there's some kind of dark history there, very likely. But that was actually another one of the reasons I started thinking about this HT thing, was because Washington State has been mentioned. Oregon, that area has, historically had some issues with that.
I mean, this goes on and on, but I thought that was kind of an interesting little graphic to kind of
Yeah.
go along with what you were talking about.
Yeah, that is interesting.
And someone else pointed out that Tennessee's not far from Atlanta, which is a trafficking hub due to the international airport. So,
we have an
international.
Nashville. We have an international airport as well.
Nashville's international.
Our trucking is always, every year, trucking is one of our top 5 industries. And if you ever look at Nashville on a map with the interstates, you can get to almost any major city in the South in like 5 hours or less, like Atlanta and Louisville and St. Louis and Birmingham. Like you can get to a ton of places very quickly. So trucking is huge in Nashville.
And you've got the waterways as well.
Yeah, but with that trucking industry, you also have the trafficking kind of issue for all kinds of illicit things, whether it's, people or narcotics or whatever.
And this is from the Polaris Project, and it's some interesting myths about HT, which I thought we might want to look at.
So a myth that HT is always or usually a violent crime.
I'm guessing that's a myth.
I guess it's a myth. So another myth is that.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
it says to learn more. Oh, well, this might be kind of interesting. The reality is that the most pervasive myth about HT is that it often involves kidnapping or physically forcing someone into a situation. In reality, most use psychological means such as tricking, defrauding, manipulating, or threatening their victims into providing commercial SA or exploitative labor.
I think you just need to say S, because SA is something entirely
Yes.
different.
Yeah, I was trying to think of.
Just S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just say yes.
Okay. And then the next one, there's just a lot. Do you have any preference you want me to pick here?
I think the
Well,
second one's an interesting one.
This
Yeah.
one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go ahead, Auntie. You read that one.
Yeah.
Reality.
Just make sure to leave the words
Oh.
out.
HT is the use of force, fraud, or coercion to get another person to provide labor or commercial S. Worldwide experts believe there are more situations of labor trafficking than S trafficking, but there is much wider awareness of S trafficking in the U.S. than the labor trafficking. So that's interesting.
It is. Sorry, I accidentally exited the studio again. Yeah, I didn't even touch anything this time at all. I wasn't even touching the computer. I don't know what happened.
We can still hear you though.
Yeah. So I'm coming back, I think.
Okay.
It's starting
Yeah,
to.
I just completely
There you
kicked me
are.
out. So I'm just reloading.
You've got like two here. I'm going to remove the other one. Here we go.
Can you move him back to the top?
Yeah. I don't know how he does it. I really don't. I think his
seriously-
computer legitimately did it that time. But
Yeah, I actually was not even touching the mouse thing or anything.
I don't know how he does it. That's interesting. Okay. So are there any others that we want to ask? Let's see if
Well, the
you wanna
one,
just go
the
through.
one
There's a bunch. So,
Well,
I mean, we could just kind of read the
next one-
myths.
that
I'm
next
sorry.
one, that next one that's a myth. That's would be interesting to know.
Okay.
Yeah, like any of these that relate even.
Okay. Sorry.
Can you blow it up just a little bit when? Just
Oh,
a tiny.
like,
Yes, that's much better.
okay.
Oh yeah. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Who wants to read this one?
I don't.
You don't. You don't want to turn?
I can. Tease. Traffickers target victims they don't know.
You just
that
said it. You just said it.
I thought you could say that word. I thought it was the other word.
No, you can't say anything on. You think you're on Rumble. This isn't Rumble. I probably can't even say that word.
Well, the reality is many survivors have been teed by romantic partners, including spouses, and by family members, including parents. So that's interesting. That's very.
I mean, it does sort of make sense.
Okay. I don't know how many of
Yeah.
these we want to go through, but
Oh,
I thought that the myths were interesting. I can put the link for everybody in chat so they can look at more of them. There's just a lot of. I mean, there's tons of them.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, we don't have to go through all of them if you want, or we can whatever.
Any that look interesting.
I am more production. You guys just tell me.
Do that middle one about women and girls.
that was going to be my suggestion.
Only women and girls can be victims and survivors of ST. So that's the myth. The reality is that men and boys are also victimized by ST. LGBTQ boys and young men are seen as particularly vulnerable to T. So maybe my assumption on this was not quite right. You know that.
Well, I mean, there's
I don't
only
know.
like I don't know. There's like 10 more. So if you want to do them quickly, we can.
Yeah. It's okay. Whatever you want to do.
It's up to you.
We can get into the rest of this if you like.
Well, I'll put this link for
we have a lot
everybody.
to
If
get
you
to
guys are
tonight.
interested in it, let me know in
If
chat.
I think I would like to look at it later because it's very interesting.
If you guys are
Yeah.
interested, let me know in chat and I'll put it in there for you.
And that last one on the next row, that people being teed are physically unable to leave their situation, locked in, held against their will. I'd like to know if that's a myth or
let's do that one.
if that's reality
Okay.
or not. The third one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The one on the right is what she means. Yeah.
Yes.
Who's going to read it?
I can't see it.
That is sometimes the case. More often, however, people in T situations stay for reasons that are more complicated. Some lack the basic necessities to physically get out, such as transportation or a safe place to live. Some are afraid for their safety. Some have been so effectively manipulated that they do not identify at that point as being under the control of another person.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so that'd be there's coercion and brainwashing. And,
I mean, there's just a lot.
I mean, that might you could also get into like cult-like.
That's a myth.
HT involves moving, traveling, or transporting a person across state or national borders. HT is often confused with human smuggling, which involves illegal border crossings. In fact, the crime of human HT does not require any movement whatsoever. Survivors can be recruited and T'd in their own towns, even their own homes. Yeah, the word really just is supposed to being sold. It's like being human, the human person being a commodity to sell.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, that's a really neat article. I definitely want to read that later.
Okay. Nobody said they in chat if they wanted it, but so I'm just going to go ahead and put it anyway. You're getting it no matter what.
You're going to get it no matter what happens.
I feel like I'm not being heard. Am I not being heard?
You're clear.
No, you're good.
Okay, sorry.
We
got off on a tangent. Sorry.
Well, but this is this is one of those theories we have not thought about a lot here, at least, and so we it's a possibility, and if that is,
there's a lot that's off the table at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to eliminate possibilities, and we haven't been able to eliminate this.
And Rock and Rhonda says it's hard to believe a parent could do anything to their children.
I remember back when it was Twitter years ago, you used to see people do this with their children on Twitter. I've seen people traffic their own. Yeah.
What you're using the words. I don't know. I give up, guys. I absolutely give up with these two. Yeah. I try really hard.
So I saw I remember one in particular. There was this woman doing this with her. It was like an 18-month-old and was putting it up for like 600.
Oh, that's awful.
I shouldn't say it.
No, it's okay.
But this is what it was. This lady was for I think it was like $600 or something. And once everyone on Twitter became aware of it, like hundreds of people were mass reporting it and they weren't pulling it down. It stayed up for like 24 hours.
I actually remember you showing me that.
And it was so disgusting and upsetting. And, this is I don't know, this is probably 5 years ago, something like that.
No, it wasn't that long. You have a poor sense of time. It was
before Elon bought it.
Yes.
It was back.
It was.
But anyway, it was really upsetting to see. And those kinds of things happened on there back in those days. Once in a while.
Yes.
And it was that child's own parent, probably just needing, money for an addiction, I would suspect.
Crystal, it's too late. It's too late. I give
hard.
up on these two.
Well, so it's such an innocent sounding word.
I
compared
know.
to the other.
I have no idea. There's a lot of stuff you can't say.
I don't think that word is banned. I don't think that's a banned word.
You wouldn't have
banned.
a clue.
It's just that the advertisers don't like certain words. And
sorry, my sister came out
that's
then.
What it is.
My sibling feelings came out.
Yeah, because people will say sometimes they'll say, well, that YouTube censors you on certain things. Well, it's not exactly that they censor, it's just that the algorithms will pick up what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's a certain words drop you in the brackets and such. Lisa says, that's so interesting, Mrs. E. I remember a couple of years ago, my friend and I stopped HTs at the Pinnacle Shopping Center in Bristol, Tennessee. Wow. We stood there to make sure they left the plaza.
Wow. That's crazy.
So Bristol's like east, kind of east side of Tennessee there, which is the part of the state that has actually had the worst issues. It seems that's where these people seem to go missing the most often is in the east half.
Oh, I got a funny text
of Tennessee. So anyway, that's all something to kind of keep in mind. Maybe that's what AtNight's thinking. I don't know. That's just kind of a little guess that I'd had, just because of the scope of the country that they seem to be interested in.
And we're not saying that that's what happened. We're just trying to explore other possibilities.
Yeah.
And it's one we
and
haven't
we're-
really gone to at all.
Right.
Why 8 states would they be monitoring? And especially West Coast and I think it was
Aw.
Clinton, New York, they mentioned. And just, it's hard to understand what they're thinking, but that there may be some network, some kind of group connected to these sites. Dreaming of Blue Skies on Sandy Beaches says the Big Red Safety Box is a great resource for families to help prevent elopement in children with autism.
Oh wow, that's nice.
And thank you so much, Dreaming of Blue Skies and Sandy Beaches. You're
Thank
a
you,
very
Jenny.
sweet person. We appreciate that. Actually, I've posted that before, but I will post that again. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But it's got a lot of resources and things to help families with children with autism that have the elopement. I wish it was around when ours were younger, or when our son was younger. So
And so this is I'm sure what police were thinking, because they'd probably just through their years of experience had it happen several times even though they would not have necessarily known that Sebastian didn't have that history. As soon as they heard he had autism, they probably went right into runaway wanderer mode. That's what I would have thought if I were on the scene. So I'm sure that's initially what they all thought. So that, there's some logic to that, and you kind of can't blame them for that. I don't think, at least not in the early stages of it. Let's get into, what did we want, Auntie? I don't remember. What were we going to do first? We're going to do.
I've got it. The AtNight stuff.
Yeah. So we
I think
haven't
we're
been
gonna
here
go chronologically, weren't we? And start with
Yeah,
that.
I think that's probably best.
Sorry, I got off on a tangent. I apologize, guys. It's just some fascinating stuff.
That is fascinating.
Let's see. You'll have to give me a second to get my stuff back.
I'm going to exit my giant screen here so I can see the chat again.
Well, you're actually getting ready to read again, so
Oh, I am. Okay.
you might need to wait.
But my screen's frozen anyway.
Okay. I think it's time for Mystery to get a new computer. I'm afraid. We've been putting it off.
Darn.
Oh, I know. We've been putting it off.
I want to find out how you like the one that you got.
Well, not for you guys that don't know, a few months ago, my computer just went nuts, and it's one I'd had for 7 years, and it's like my baby. And I was really, really sad, and I had to go to the Apple store and get a new one. And I went from a MacBook Pro to a MacBook Air, and they told me it would be great. It would be wonderful. It's quite a bit cheaper. So I've tried it out. It's fine, but I can still tell it's not as powerful as my 7-year-old MacBook Pro was. So although it has stopped.
Mr. E.
Well, no, I'm not. It's actually working again. It was the fans and stuff. So it's actually working again. But I'm afraid to do too much on it because I used to do a lot of graphics and different things on it, and I'm afraid to do that.
And I do see the little debate that's going on about dog in there. We will get to that too. Nothing ugly. Nothing ugly.
Oh,
just,
okay.
Just a discussion, but we are going to discuss it. I just want to do it when we get to that part. We're kind of going back chronologically as far as these.
You got kicked out again.
I know.
Oh my stars!
I can pull this up on my phone.
And we can still hear good. So,
well, he's back.
yeah, there he is.
Weird.
I know, it's strange.
It might be StreamYard. It's been acting a little wonky. So
as we all know, AtNight Private Intelligence has been on this for roughly 3 months now, and we haven't gotten a lot of like real detailed updates like this from them before. So this was really interesting to kind of see published from them, and this is from their X account. The November 13th, 2024. Public update on the search for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Since our last update on November 11th, we have intensified efforts across multiple states and continue to make significant progress in the search for 15-year-old Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Following recent developments, including our fluid discussions with the incoming administration and the launch of Sebastian's Army as a One World initiative, we are leveraging heavy resources available to locate Sebastian and dismantle any obstacles hindering the investigation. Background on current efforts. On November 11th, we announced the creation of Sebastian's Army, an enduring initiative under the One World umbrella designed to support. Can you scroll?
Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm trying to do 15 things at once.
I got you.
How far up? Background?
That's good. And then so Sebastian's case and future searches for missing persons. This effort will mobilize public support, utilize advanced data analytics, and ensure ongoing public safety. In addition, we establish regular discussions with President-elect Donald J. Trump's incoming administration to secure federal resources and support for our work. So that is super exciting in my mind. Once you get the feds, if you can get federal resources and support, you're just getting the best in the world. If they can secure that. So that's fantastic news. Of course, hopefully he's just found before that administration comes in anyway. But them having connections with some people with the Trump team is, it's always good to know people. And this may be helpful in this situation. I think this is also kind of interesting because the way this is phrased to me, this seems like what they're building here is a tool not only to use on the Sebastian case, but any future missing person cases that they take on. That's kind of the way I was reading that that it's almost like a new program, a new strategy, and that they're going to name it Sebastian's Army. I think that's what they're saying there.
I also want to remind, I see people in chat that are not normally here. I just want to remind everyone that it's okay to have a different opinion, but we don't allow being hateful or rude in chat. And if you are, you will be removed. So don't make me have to remove you. Try to be nice to each other. Don't start arguments with other people. It's okay, like I said, to have a different opinion, but it's not okay to be rude. And also, Lisa B always wanted to remind you, still no shoes, Mr. E.
still no shoes. I mean, yeah, if you get back to basics on this case, it all came back to the shoes.
Yes.
And why his shoes were all accounted for. So that's where this whole story never made any sense.
Lisa, that's so sweet. She says, my dad and I watch every video you all post, and this is the only the second time we've caught you live.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, welcome. I'm so happy you got to make it. That's wonderful.
Well, thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it.
That makes my heart feel happy.
Yeah, I'm glad you're catching us live. Monday night seems to be a pretty good night for people actually to catch us. So that's a night we try to do, and we would give more notice that we just don't always know for sure we're going to be able to do it. Our schedules are always kind of crazy, so we just do it when we can. But so let's go into this. So these are the new developments as of November 15th. So number one, they're clearing all tips. AtNight has systematically cleared several dozen tips from Washington, Oregon, and surrounding regions, working closely with licensed investigators in each state. We are reviewing and investigating every lead to ensure nothing is overlooked. And I know for some people that may seem like a waste of time or something, because sometimes we hear about these tips and we think, well, we know that this story was back in March or April, or I remember hearing about this person in this location and whatnot. But when you're a new investigator entering a situation, they have to take everything that the police and FBI and everyone already did and do it again. So that they
start over.
That you start over. Their job's kind of different from our job. Our job is sort of big picture, looking at things as they're happening, kind of going more with logic and deduction and theories, and theirs is really to pull every single thread and make sure there's nothing there. And sometimes going back and checking an old lead, even though someone else dismissed it in March, might actually be a legitimate lead today.
Right.
Sometimes you'll have a situation where
maybe
there was a suspect of some sort in March, for example, and or someone that knew something, but they were scared to talk then. Well, maybe they're willing to talk now because things have changed.
Right.
You don't know. So it's always okay to go back and revisit, and maybe the first investigator missed something or believed someone's lie. You don't know what the first investigation did. So it's okay to go back and be thorough and check these things. That's what an investigator should be doing. So if they're going back and looking at stuff we already know about, that's okay. They might pick up things we missed.
This is a great comment. Nice Marie says, in my opinion, any children or a person goes missing, they should treat it as a crime scene first, then work out of the box. Evidence is key, in my opinion, only. I actually think that would be really interesting legislation.
Well, I think some states do.
Oh,
Yeah,
some states do already do
I
that?
think.
Okay.
It would be something Tennessee could work toward because of obviously they've treated too many cases like missing children have run away and and there's a lot of unsolved crimes in Tennessee with children.
Well, I think that would be an interesting thing to look at, to,
Mhm.
Yeah.
maybe speak to people, congressmen, things like that. So, you just never know. It's just a really good thought to, that maybe we could make a change in legislation.
But anyway, I don't view the clearing of old tips, and maybe I'm sure some of these are new tips also. But anyway, if you see that, it might be kind of like, oh, that's old, but you never know that there might have been something missed. 2, activate surveillance in 8 states. Surveillance operations are now underway in 8 states spanning from Clinton, New York to Seattle, Washington. Findings from these efforts are shared with the respective state authorities and the FBI's DC field office, with whom we forward material to regularly. So a couple of things there. Clinton, New York.
Mhm.
Do you know anything about Clinton, New York? I meant to look this up earlier, see is there
I think it's very small.
Is there anything significant about Clinton? Is there a college or a school or any tie to anybody we know involved in this case?
I mean, not that I'm aware of. But
I
I'm
just
sure
wondered
they're
if-
aware of a lot more.
I don't know.
than
Maybe
we are.
somebody in the chat knows.
So their
if there's ever been
population is 1644.
1644.
Yeah.
Okay, so why?
I don't know. It's cute. It's a cute little town.
It's near Utica.
Yeah. It's near Utica. It
It's
says,
in
what's it? What is Clinton, New York famous for? I don't know any of these things. Never heard of any of these things. So,
Okay, so it's kind of right in the middle of the state,
mhm.
and
Also,
yeah, I don't know. I don't see anything. Hamilton College.
And that's not. I mean,
I don't know. I
nothing
just don't
really
know. I've
on-
never heard. I can't think of any family members or friends of the family or anyone that's got ties to that area. I don't know. So I don't know why. I don't know why that city, but that's interesting. If we can find a connection there, to see why that city might be of interest.
Okay.
Seattle, of course, being so massive and huge, could be a lot of reasons. Yes.
okay, 2 things. Nana's Dragonfly, K-Mac reminded me. I knew I'd heard this idea before, but I didn't know where. Nana's Dragonfly is actually working on that legislation. I forgot about that.
Oh, is that right?
okay.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Are you-
He mentioned it a while ago, and when I saw that, when K-Mac said that, it reminded me. And also, Tia
that's
Nurse
great.
wants to know. I wants to let you know that she went back and watched Deception Detective and Peter Hyatt, and her wheels are turning again. So,
watching old ones.
Yeah.
Of theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
she wanted to let you know that, and I didn't want to forget it because I thought it would get lost in chat. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Go back and I like going back and watching those too. I spent a little while on Deception Detective stuff. He actually did better on Seth because he was trying to interview the Proudfoots, and so he didn't really want to get into them he didn't want to get a preconceived. He wanted to be fair to them, so
Right.
he kept inviting them on, and I guess they never accepted. But Peter Hyatt stuff was really interesting back then.
And prayers for Peter Hyatt too.
He was back on X like a week or two ago.
Well, I think he can type. I don't think he can speak.
Well, I mean,
He has. If you guys don't know, he has cancer, and so we want to send him some prayers. Also, Nana's Dragonfly did confirm she needed to get in touch with some people. So with Seth to see if she can work with him on that. And Nana, if we can do anything to help with that, please let us know. We would be happy to help you in any way we can.
Is she doing like is it?
I
is
think
she
she's
looking
doing
at
it for
national
Tennessee.
or for state of Tennessee.
I don't know. If she's still here, maybe she'll tell us if it's.
Well, yeah. I mean, if we can do anything to help, petition,
Yeah.
publicize it when you guys are ready. We would be
We
happy
would love to
to
help
do
you.
that, and we could put it, of course, on our community page or mention it on the stream. Of course, we would like to help with that if we can. So yeah, let us know. So then let's do part 3. And then also they say they're going straight to the DC field office So they're not sending it straight to Memphis, which is kind of interesting too. Maybe if they think if their team has connections with the incoming Trump administration, maybe they're just kind of wanting to go more above, to the DC field office.
Right.
DC and New York are usually considered the top two offices in the FBI.
And Clinton is very, very close to Canada too. The Lake Ontario is right there.
Oh, well, there you go.
In
That
a
could be.
in less than an hour's drive, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah, Tennessee nurse is reminding me here about Deception Detective. He gave them 2 weeks to respond to his invite before he did some analysis. Yeah, that's right. He did. So let's go to call for continued vigilance. We urge the public to continue submitting tips, especially in Tennessee and surrounding regions. Please remain vigilant, report any suspicious activity, and if you know something, say something. We are committed to uncovering the truth and will persist until every lead is followed. So, of course, that's great. Send in any tips to whoever you feel comfortable sending them to. FBI, TBI, Sumner County, or Dogs Team. Dismantling. Number 4 is dismantling obstructive networks. To date, AtNight has dismantled 3 networks that have interfered with efforts to locate Sebastian. Our team has been instructed to treat this as a criminal investigation, utilizing the same methods we employ to dismantle criminal financial networks. We are actively countering any attempt to obstruct our search. I don't know what those 3 networks are. Anybody have an idea of what
No,
there hasn't been any news, right?
not that I'm aware of. I just wanted to say that Rogue is leaving because she says she's having a seizure, and or she feels like one's coming on, and I just want everybody to say a little prayer for her that everything's okay with that.
Well, I'm sorry to hear
maybe
that,
nervous,
Rogue.
and I'm worried about her.
Yeah.
And also, Nana wants it to be in all the states. I think that's
That'd be
wonderful.
awesome.
Well, Rogue, I hope you'll let us know.
Yeah, and if we can, I don't know how
okay.
if we could do anything. Please let us know. I don't know. Feel kind of like our hands are tied, but other than we can pray that that you're okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry to hear that.
And our sweet Real Me Too has got some things to take care of, so she has to go. But thank you for your help, Real Me Too.
She said she's taking care of grandbabies tonight, so that's a better deal.
Yeah.
Go take care of the grandbabies. So yeah, go do that for sure. So anyway, I don't know what these networks are. I don't know if what they're referring to, but why would there be 3 networks obstructing anything in the first place would be my question, I guess. I don't know, but I guess that's good. And they're keeping it vague for a reason, I suspect. Number 5, ongoing briefings with the incoming administration. AtNight continues to meet with the incoming administration 3 times weekly on Monday. I think I missed this. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, providing detailed reports on investigative challenges, including interference from hostile witnesses and individuals of interest. I don't think I read this. Additionally, we have been connected to the soon-to-be U.S. Attorney General to discuss increased resources and support for a swift resolution.
That's awesome.
Did you guys? I'm sure y'all read it. I guess I missed.
I read through it. I thought it was awesome. They're very organized in their efforts, and it shows. And I'm glad they went through and explained it. If Tennessee or Sumner County had explained their process, maybe it wouldn't be so confusing for all of us to know what they've done since the beginning. Because Lord knows they sure haven't come out and said anything.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's great. So if they're willing to hear them on this that frequently and talk to
awesome.
People, but yeah, hostile witnesses, Ginger Girl says.
Max said, didn't that man step down though? I think they're talking about the incoming Attorney General, right?
So yeah.
Incoming is
Matt Gaetz.
Oh, Matt Gaetz. Well, yeah, if he gets through. He's one of the ones I think they're gonna fight probably. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
I'm trying to get back to that post because I needed to get the.
But regardless, that's a good.
Yes,
it's great. You want if you can get the Attorney General's ear on this, that's wonderful. So that's.
I'm trying to get the part 2. You have to give me a second.
Yeah, that's okay.
Why don't you talk to
Hallie
Jack.
Lanius. Yes, things did go south from the beginning with Sumner County. I think that we just haven't had any information, and the lack of information makes it even that much more confusing and
Yeah, I mean, unless you count
frustrating.
the FBI reward, but that really wasn't directly Sumner County. They just haven't.
No updates.
No, and if so.
Well, we did hear that one of the detectives involved was stepping down, or not retiring, right?
Yes, so one of the sheriff, Tim
But
Bailey,
A major.
Yeah, Major Tim Bailey, we're just retired like 2 weeks ago, I think, or so, and but yeah, I don't think he was specifically on this case. But although I don't know if we know for sure who's on, because Craddock had the case and then he became the sheriff, and then the only statement I can recall is that he said that there would be a detective assigned to that case every day. And it kind of implied that it might get shifted around to different detectives. We just really wasn't clear if any specific person was assigned to it or not. Here we have number 6 is identification of misinformation. Ground Zero AtNight has located what we believe to be the origin point of targeted misinformation and hateful content that have derailed the investigation. We are collaborating with the FBI and Florida Department of Law Enforcement to pursue criminal charges against individuals and entities responsible for this interference. So they've mentioned Florida in the past. So that, I have no idea what that would be about. But they think that that's the origin point. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll find out. But certainly appears to be a Florida issue. And advanced. So number 7 is advanced data analysis through One World. Tips are currently being uploaded into One World's data center, where they will be indexed, categorized, and analyzed using advanced AI technology. This system will help identify anomalies and critical patterns over the coming weeks. Just in a general sense, I guess AI is going to be the future of law enforcement and investigations, won't it? So that's good to see them using the latest technology there. Number 8, attempted infiltration of AtNight systems. We have confirmed that 2 individuals attempted to infiltrate AtNight systems by using fake IDs to apply for employment. During the interview process, they provided information that allowed us to conduct background checks and identify pertinent details. So we have.
That's interesting.
We have that. So we don't. I don't know what'll happen from that. Is
or what
I wonder if
the
those kinds of
intent
things.
was.
I wonder if that will be could be a criminal charge.
I don't know. I would guess using a fake ID, some form of fraud or
employment? I
something.
would think that's fraud. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on if someone wants to pursue it or not, but I would think so. 9, connections to persons of interest. Further investigation revealed that one of these individuals is connected to Sebastian Wayne. Oh, so this is a continuation of the other. Further investigation revealed that one of these individuals is connected to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers through marriage, not by blood. The second individual is believed to be wanted on unrelated criminal charges involving HT.
What?
Wow.
These individuals have been reported to authorities and further investigations are underway. So they've reported it. Then that will just be in the hands of the local law enforcement if they're going to do anything.
I mean, they could have reported it to the FBI. Yeah.
So they're
Believed to be
referring to the
wanted.
2 individuals in number 8. Is that what they're saying? Those 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think
That's
so. I
the
think
way
we
I
don't.
read it.
Right.
I think
so
there's been some debate on this. So
Okay.
I'm not sure.
So that's interesting. Okay. So that's been reported. So I guess we'll see if anybody gets. Well, they're saying that person's wanted. That second individual
I know.
That's
has already has another, I guess, a warrant or something out for them. So I don't know if they've been picked up yet or not. I guess we'll see. And then it says we remain deeply appreciative of the public's ongoing support. We urge anyone with information, no matter how small, to come forward. Together, we will continue working tirelessly to bring Sebastian home and hold accountable those who obstruct this critical mission. And I guess the rest is going to be phone numbers. Is that
Yeah,
about?
I think it's just if you have any
Yeah.
information.
So
Wow.
and see, they tell you to call TBI or FBI, and then alternatively call dog. It's interesting.
Yeah.
We need to probably talk about dogs since that's what we
So
we
let's
have
get into the
on that fancy thumbnail. Did you guys like the thumbnail?
That was
Mrs.
pretty
E.
cool.
Mrs. E. did that very well.
It was
so.
one of our kids' favorite books.
Oh, it was my favorite.
Reading the kids.
No, mine as a child.
Oh,
No, I love.
oh, so you really love that
Yeah,
thumbnail?
yeah. No,
Oh.
that was my favorite of all the Dr. Seuss. Even though it wasn't Dr. Seuss, it was the other guy that wrote some books under the
Oops.
Dr. Seuss. I can't remember.
It's
the
not
name.
Dr. Seuss. It's
It's something like a E something
it's P
something.
something.
Yeah, it's like an initial.
I can tell you in a second.
But yeah, that was definitely my favorite.
I guess I knew that.
It's probably the kids loved it probably because I read it so
Well,
much because I liked it.
One of our kids made up a song for it. It was so cute.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
It is written by P.D. Eastman.
P.D. Eastman. I was thinking the first initial was E, and I was getting that kind of.
And you know, I did not realize that till today.
Graham got it.
Yeah.
Go, Graham. Graham's
very
a smarty,
good. Very
though.
good. Yeah, I couldn't remember that name, but I don't know why that happened. I guess somewhere under the Dr. Seuss like umbrella, but there were a few books like that weren't actually Dr. Seuss books, but they had the Dr. Seuss label and all that. But yeah, that was a good one. So obviously dog has this guy should get into this
Just get into
part
this.
of it.
Mhm. Do you want me to pull the dog tweets up? Or
Sure. Let's do this. Whatever order.
I just closed it, so you'll have to give me. Sorry. Go ahead and talk to people.
Let's do the. What do you think, Auntie? Do the Twitter post first,
Yeah, I guess so.
and then
That
we'll
would
do.
be yeah.
Yeah, because I think people. This is what people are kind of debating.
Were we going to talk about what happened on the 16th of the two unidentified males?
Oh yeah, we could do that too.
We didn't talk
Okay,
about that at all
okay.
with AtNight.
Why don't we just talk about it and direct people to the site, because you guys are giving me a lot of media.
Okay.
I gave them all to you. It's all on there.
I know, but they're not in. Okay.
I'll pull them up in any order you want. We'll just.
Okay,
It doesn't really matter.
You're confusing me because you're saying that's what. Okay, I don't want to argue with you two, but which one would you like me to pull up?
Start with the Tennessee sign.
Thank you. That's what I need to know.
Yeah, we'll just do that.
You're jumping around, you two.
If we can get to the two people at the
Hey,
house.
I've got an idea. Aunt E, you can do this on your end too. You could learn how to do this as well.
Oh, she can do it over there.
Absolutely. I pay for it.
Okay.
So, that would be nice.
I've
to
never
have some-
tried to do it because I didn't want to step on your toes and mess
You're not gonna
something up.
You're not. All you got to do is hit present. So, okay, here we go. All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to clip my mouth. Like
Oh,
that.
hello. Want to be sleuthing something? So glad you could join us.
It's a great name. I do love the name.
Yep.
Want to be sleuthing something? Sounds like some kind of.
She had a cheerleading dance to that. I want to be starting something. I'll never forget it because she played it over and over and
It's
over.
probably 5,000 times.
Yes.
So, do you all know which one this is? Can you tell? I couldn't tell.
Which
Which
entry
sign?
point?
Yeah. Yeah, which direction
Yeah.
he's coming in from?
Well, it looks yeah. Well, maybe
I
not.
mean, it could be.
It could be a lot of them.
I-
Well,
I-
let's hit play and I'll see if I can
Well,
figure it out.
we know that he lives in Florida.
Yeah.
And so if he was coming from his home, it would be from the south. So
And so, what date was this? The 16th? Is that what this is?
mm,
Yeah, November 16th. He posted this.
mhm. If 5:01 p.m. is when he put it up, that doesn't mean
Right.
4:01 your time.
I can't tell which one
Right.
it is.
Yeah, I'm
can't
not
tell.
sure. I don't guess it really matters, but anyway, so this was his little indicator that the dog was in Tennessee, which I think people had kind of anxiously been awaiting. for him to be here. And then he
24
confirmed later
on Court TV.
Yeah, but we'll do Court TV later.
Okay, hold on.
So then he in between there, I don't think we had this one up, but was it Nick that posted something like Vietnam vets 10 minutes away?
Yeah, he
Long
did that.
Hollow 13. Was that Nick's account?
That was it was on
sent that one
YouTube.
too. I
Yeah,
think
so-
I sent that one too.
Okay, hold on. You guys are
Good evening, Seth. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Hi,
Hey,
Seth.
Seth. Always great to see you.
Wanna be
It doesn't-
sleuthing something says that her backup site is gotta be sleuthing something.
That's a great
That's
thing.
very good.
That's
It's
awesome.
a great name. It's a great name.
Okay, so no, you didn't send me that, but I can find it real quick.
It doesn't really matter. But anyway, we saw that from Nick, and let's just skip to the other. To
Great.
the sign. So there was the one from Nick where it kind of was a little teaser clue.
Well, he
about
put that on this one.
Oh, is that right?
Well, I don't remember,
I don't-
honestly.
I did share it. It's not a video though. It's just his tweet where he said, "Let's go, Dog Nation. I looked you straight in the eyes, yet you didn't even recognize me, but we recognize you. Thank you, Biden, for the face masks." That was
Yeah.
that right there.
Oh, right.
Well,
So
so the
then
picture
what day was
he
this
has,
on? The 17th?
this was yesterday.
So
Yes,
yeah,
and
the 17th.
It tells, it says time to Vietnam veterans 8 to 11 minutes, Long Hollow 10 to 13 minutes.
And that
So
was
he-
what that's what Nick had on his post, and people were trying to decipher that.
Yes.
Right. So this is I-65
Yeah.
coming from Nashville, heading north. Eventually, if you kept going towards Hendersonville to get to Vietnam veterans, you would eventually kind of merge right. And then that would take you into Hendersonville on that bypass, which is what they're referring to there. So I'm going to guess around here was probably just a few minutes from Nashville, actually, probably not far.
That would answer our question then, because he would have been coming from the south to the north.
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. So this would be right. Because
Right.
yes, because you wouldn't get on the bypass coming from the north to the south this way,
Exactly.
because of the way it merges.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this is definitely coming from the direction of Nashville, heading north towards Hendersonville, towards Vietnam veterans. So that's what that clue was all about. And
Kim
and keep in mind, this is on the 17th.
Kim says, I thought Dog lived in Colorado. He did. He used to live in Hawaii and Colorado. And he moved to Florida really not that long ago, right, Auntie?
It hasn't been super long.
Yeah.
I actually
And
don't
then-
know for sure, but it hadn't been too long.
Opinionated wants to know if this sign is legit. It's 100% legit. I know exactly where this is. This is right before. I'm going to zoom in. I'm pretty sure I know where it is exactly.
You're going to try to see the sign back there.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's Old Hickory, right? It looks like Old Hickory.
I think so.
yeah, I can't
So,
zoom
like-
in anymore.
Getting close to Madison.
Tennessee Nurse said the face mask post was the one I couldn't figure out. Like, who wouldn't recognize Dog even with the face mask? There's
Well,
got to
you
be
know-
way more detail on that.
Well, I wondered though. I mean, is it possible that maybe he has those are extensions and he puts them on when he's on TV or something and takes them off?
The hair?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Oh, I don't know.
No.
Well, I mean, you could always go hoodie, cap, and not wear his distinctive clothing.
Right.
You know, if he were trying to get close to someone.
And we do know that he was headed to his son's wedding. We knew that.
Oh,
Yeah.
And explain the son's wedding thing. This is
Oh, okay. So here's the, and we haven't talked about this. So this is just what my thinking on the whole thing because the question is, was he actually here? And there's a timing thing. So try to put yourself in their shoes. If you are Dog and his team, and you wouldn't have come to Hendersonville necessarily right away, anyhow. To me, the plan that would make sense is first you do your media blitz, which is what they did when they first got on the scene. They did a ton of media, kind of shook things up and got everyone's attention with the reward and all of that. Then they went into kind of like this investigative mode where they seem to be focusing heavily on trying to pull tips and, get as much information that way from the public as they could. That seemed to have been their focus for a time. Then after that, then you would sort through those tips and start calling people and that type of thing. And what you would want dog for, in my mind, if I were running the whole deal, I would want him for publicity moments, just because you're going to get a lot more media attention when you have dog doing the talking instead of some investigator no one's ever heard of. So anytime you want the press, you send dog forward. And then you'd also want him there when it was time to talk to human sources face to face. That's who I'd want walking into someone's living room if they had something to say. And if you've ever watched his show, he has quite a skill for
Talking to
dealing
people.
with people, and particularly criminals. Even he
Mhm.
somehow can. He has a gift for turning things around with people, and even with age, that wouldn't go away. Those instincts and things. So if you had situations where maybe you had say, for example, we've got this HT situation. Maybe someone knows something with that, but doesn't want to go talk to the cops because of their own history, but would talk to dog. Yeah, you might arrange for that and then plan your trip and have dog come to town. You would not announce it. You would not, hey, everybody, we are coming to Hendersonville these dates. We're staying at this place. We'll be going to this house first. We'll be doing a search there. No way would you do that, because you cannot have, we're at a point where there's so much disruption. We've got people trying to apply for jobs and you've got 3 networks apparently that are trying to disrupt things. So you would go clandestine when you have dog coming to town. Another thing with this timing issue, the vigil, if you recall, was on November 9th. That same day, dog had a meet and greet in Alabama about 3 hours away.
The day of the vigil.
The same day, the day of the vigil. So Mrs. and E and I kind of wondered if dog might just show up to the vigil, because he could have made his nighttime thing 3 hours away, theoretically, if he were there from like 2 to 4.
It was about 2.5.
Yeah. So we kind of thought, well, maybe he'll be there at the beginning just to kind of meet Seth and Tony in person, whatever, talk to people, kind of, whatever. So we kind of thought that might be possible. He'd show up. Of course, he didn't, but he did have that event that night. So he's already in Alabama on November 9th. So to me, what would be logical, if you're planning all these kind of trips ahead of time, is that week between the 9th and his son's wedding on the 17th in Tennessee.
Oh my
Well, that's when you'd
goodness.
arrange for dog to do his work in the Hendersonville or Middle Tennessee area, or wherever he was.
That's what
right?
Rose was saying, is why is it impossible for him to be here for both the son's wedding and for Sebastian?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I would do. I would try to line things up.
Right.
That's
And you wouldn't post about it until you were done.
Absolutely
So,
not, because
The day he posted that Tennessee sign, he was probably already over at Fall Creek Falls,
well,
well out of Middle Tennessee.
when he was on Court TV, I said he's not showing his location.
Yeah.
Because people can decipher your location at hotel rooms. We've seen it multiple times.
Very
done.
easily could have had
Yeah.
him on a screen somewhere, and there was a reason he didn't want to do that,
Right.
because he didn't want. And somebody like dog, you don't want to just announce exactly where you are.
And I just wanted to say that Wine Time gifted 10 memberships.
Wow, Wine Time.
Wow.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Wine Time.
Thank
If
you so
you
much.
received a membership from Wine Time, please tell Wine Time thank you. We appreciate you so much. That's so kind of you. It really does help us out. And while I'm thinking about it, I hardly ever say this. Would you what?
Oh, I thought you were going to do our gift ones.
Oh, I do need to do our gift ones.
what I
That's a
let you
good
do.
idea. I was also going to say, if you have a moment, I would appreciate it if you would just give us a quick like. It does help us with the algorithm. And as always, if we get up to 1,000 likes, Mr. E will let me play my silly video. So,
Yes, we will do. We'll do the video if we hit that.
but he is.
Probably,
You're very strong about that.
yeah.
though.
I if we could be united on this, I could be stronger. But I think you kind of want to cave on it.
I
give
always
the
want to
people what
cave
they
on it
want.
because it makes me laugh.
I know.
So
I know.
I am going to.
I was
try.
thinking though. Actually, the last video we did, although we didn't hit 1,000 likes during the live, we did eventually hit 1,000 likes. So should there be like we play it once for that?
No,
Because
no.
then the replay crew is
Whoops,
encouraged to do
I'm
it,
trying
right?
to mute it. Hold on. It looks like we have only 348 likes, so that's probably
Oh,
not
yeah.
happening tonight,
no.
guys. I'm sorry, but I'll tell you what I will do is I will go in here and gift these memberships real quick if you don't mind, because we have memberships. Wait, it's making me try to join. How do I not ever remember how to do this?
So anyway, my guess is what happened was he was at that meet and greet in Alabama on the 9th, and then probably sometime around the 10th, 11th or so, he came to Middle Tennessee, did his thing, did a few interviews, whatever work was necessary for him from around the 11th ish or so through the 14th or 15th, and something like that, and then headed out east. Fall Creek Falls is about 2.5 hours from Middle Tennessee. And I would guess he probably went out there maybe Friday, the 15th through the 17th to hang out with family and all that and enjoy the whole wedding festivity. So that's my guess. So the timing of the posts was a little, these guys, they're investigating. So you're not going to telegraph everything you're doing.
I just have to show you. Graham cracks me up.
I say, so we could.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Mull it over.
We'll mull it over. I am going to go ahead and gift our 10 memberships for the month, you guys. And here we go. Let's see who gets them. Let's see. Cheryl Joe. Let's see. I'm sorry. It's going so fast. I can't even see. Well, if you got membership, you don't have to thank me because it's us. So welcome to the Crime Dogs, guys. And I've got 5 more I can give out. Let's see. And I'm, you know what? I might wait. We've got half the month left. I might wait on those. I'll just wait on the other 5. But welcome. We appreciate you. Welcome to the Crime Dogs, our little crazy family. We appreciate you. Sorry. I am going to have to step away in a minute and do bedtime. So
okay. So let's see. Did we have what would have been next, Auntie? Is it the video?
Which video?
Ooh. Rosebud. Nice quote. I love it.
I saw that. That was good.
Will you read that? That's amazing.
Beware the quiet man, for while others speak, he watches, and while others act, he plans, and when they finally rest, he strikes. Anonymous.
That's good.
That's very good.
Are you talking about the court TV?
Yeah, should that be next, do you think?
Well, is there anything you guys can do if I'm not here because I'm going to be doing bedtimes?
Well, we could start that video, the first part of it, and then talk about what was said. And if we're going to do the court TV, we would start around the 3-minute mark. Does that work?
Oh, start the court TV about the 3-minute mark. Give me just a second to get that ready.
Yeah, because we're just going to focus on the dog interview parts. The whole thing's great. Court TV did a nice.
I actually
job.
like the beginning. Yeah, I like the beginning where they actually did a summary of the case. And kind of just updated people on what back to the beginning, what happened. It was a kind of a nice recap to this point for those that don't know the case very well.
Oh, and
it was.
I don't know if you mentioned this about how far away that was for a dog to have traveled to Fall Creek Falls.
I said about 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know if you said that. Sorry.
Yeah, it's gorgeous out there. I've been camping out there before. It's great.
But I know one point I was going to make, which you probably already made, because I was trying to give memberships and stuff. But, we often will have a family and work trip at the same time. So
sure. I mean, it's just logistics. It just makes sense, that you would try to bookend things. That if you have a meet and greet on the 9th, well, then you're like, well, if I'm already up in the area and my son's wedding is the next weekend, that'd be a great week to come in and do some interviews or some investigating or whatever, whatever they thought dog would be useful. And which my guess would be that personal human interviewing kind of stuff. That's where if I were in it, that's where I would want to use dog. I'd want to use, because I always just think like if I were someone living in the community who was a little scared or timid to talk, I always imagine dog walking in your living room, and just that people would open up because he's the celebrity factor. He's kind of disarming, And
Exactly.
people would want to help dog. I mean, people should want to help in a missing child case anyway. But if anybody's going to kind of get some movement, you would think dog could be useful that way. But so it just makes sense just to kind of do it all in one big trip.
Reed is asking if we'll be at court on Wednesday. We have to juggle some things around, but we will try. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it's possible.
We just have some stuff going on at school for our kids that day as well. So,
yeah. And who knows? Dog could still. You never know. He could be here any time and not announce it until he's gone.
Oh, look at Miss Priss. Oh, I love Go Dog Go. I love that. I don't know. That was like the most fun thumbnail to make ever.
Oh, I know you were having a blast.
I was laughing my head off at it. So, let's see.
Yeah, Lana H says they think that Silver is going there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So if we're there, we'll maybe get a chance to meet him. I like his stuff, and so it'd be nice to meet him.
And Miss Priss, thank you for being a member for a month. And I forgot to tell Breezy is Crushing on the Sandman. Thank you for 4 months. We appreciate you guys. We really do appreciate our members. It's like a big family, and we love getting to know you guys. So, and we have a lot of fun over on the Discord. If you're a member and you're not a member of the Discord, please let me know, and we'll help you get on there. Let's see. And okay, I'm ready to share, and you'll have to stop it though. Okay, you good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's bedtime, and I'm pretty strict about bedtime.
I think it's like 2 parts to the interview, so I'll just stop it when.
Where do you want me to start it?
3 minutes.
Okay.
If anything, a hair earlier. Yeah.
All right. I'll leave it on this screen, and you'll have to see comments over there. Is that okay? And that way you can stop and start it on my screen.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Oh, you know what? I have to mute us. Auntie, can you be responsible? Are you able to mute us? So Mr. E.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you be in charge of the mute, and then he can be in charge of the video. So when the video starts, we have to mute or it'll echo.
Okay.
Okay.
And is that for both?
No, it's just for him. Just do me. Leave him alone.
Okay.
On the screen. Okay. Because our mics are both added into this my computer. So, you guys got it? Between the two of you, can you do my job?
I don't know.
Okay.
We'll
try.
Go
just
quickly.
Kidding. I'm just kidding. All right. Go ahead and mute Aunt E.
Are we supposed to be seeing something?
Your dog. Thank you, sir. So first of all, I don't need to spin this, but you said.
Okay, we can't see it or hear it. Sorry, guys.
That's my fault.
I was gonna say it didn't show. He was hearing it, but I had it muted.
I'll go back.
Thanks for letting us know. Good measure.
Well, I waited several seconds. I didn't want to interrupt.
Well, the screens were. I just wasn't sure.
Okay, hold on. I wish you two would learn this. Really.
We can swap seats.
What do you mean swap seat?
You could do.
What is it you do? Talk.
Jibber jabber.
Okay. Here.
I just jibber jabber. That's what I do.
Okay. So it should be showing up on there, is it?
It is.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
255 mark.
About this young man. Let's bring in Dwayne Chapman, a.k.a. Dog the Bounty Hunter. He's with us. He's joined this search effort for Sebastian, and he has dedicated a lot of resources, including his time, and attorney Joe Lesniak, who's assisting with the legal aspects of this search. Good evening to both of you. Dog, let's start with the updates. Where are we here? And if you could, just give us a little bit of more detail on these possible leads in specifically, it sounds like the Pacific Northwest, Oregon, and then something over on the New York-Canadian border.
Well, first of all, I appreciate you having us on the show, and I'm glad my lawyer's there. Let me tell you something, because sometimes I stick my foot in my mouth. So, Mr. Joe, are you there, brother?
I'm here, Dog.
Thank you, sir. So, first of all, I don't mean to spin this, but you said a lot of law enforcement and volunteers and all that were out there searching. Let me tell you the truth, and nothing but the truth. Chris Proudfoot was threatening all kind of people that they should go home. Why are they there? He allegedly sprayed some neighbor with water, because they were asking. So a lot of people, let's say, tried to, help and volunteer, but Proudfoot and his cronies, or maybe by himself, was threatening them, stopping them. And I don't know why the people that were threatened and threatened by him allegedly didn't call the police or what is it called? The TBI. I don't know why the TBI hasn't done nothing unless they're neck deep in it too. I talked to one of the guys and it was ridiculous. We want the FBI, the marshals. We need the FBI. We need the marshals in on this, and let me tell you about them. They will find what happened to the little boy. They will find Sebastian, what happened to him.
What do you think happened to him, Dwayne? I mean, it seems it's very hard to get your head around that he has not turned up in after this long of a period of time. Do you believe he was abducted? Is he? What's your gut telling you now that you've you know enough and have invested enough here? What's your gut say?
Well, first of all, please call me Dog. That's okay to call me Dog. And there's a lot of possibilities. Okay, the worst possibility, of course, you could guess that. But we've checked into sex slaves. There's a lot of kids that are autistic. That it's unbelievable, from 5 to 18 years old, little boys and little girls that are in the sex trade, they're catching them right now all over Tennessee. They just caught a kid, I think 8 or 9 years old yesterday or the day before. So, we want to show those kids pictures of Sebastian. We want to show them those little kids got, sometimes they can ID someone a lot better than anyone else. So we want to show those kids pictures, but again, the ones that I guess found the kids is the TBI. I hate to sound redundant, but we need the federal marshals and we need the feds in on this.
You mentioned the Proudfoots, Chris and Katie Proudfoot. Katie Proudfoot, for those who haven't been following this, is the mother of Sebastian. She was the last person to see him. Chris, the stepfather, and we invited them on tonight. We did get a hold of them. They declined. Joe, there has
they are. Of course they will.
There's been some pretty nasty rhetoric going on online. Not only, not just people attacking the Proudfoots, but Seth Rogers has been the victim here of a lot of hate. Why? Where is that coming from?
I think a lot of people have a lot of time on their hands. Chris, I think what happens is they get caught up in their own rhetoric, as you said, and their own story, and they want to try and create headlines. They want to try and create something that's not there. They create smoke, and then they point to the smoke that they created. And you're sitting there going, stop, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. And yet they don't care because the smoke generates more advertising, more smoke, and more people. And they attack not only Seth, but anybody who's aligned themselves with Seth Rogers. Seth is and Dog and all these these individuals are trying to help find this young man, and they constantly are attacking anybody who's ever latched on to Seth Rogers and the search for Sebastian. And that should send up signals. I've been practicing the criminal defense and criminal prosecution world for almost 20 years and prosecute sexual offenders and other types of cases, kidnapping cases. And it should send up a red flag to law enforcement of people who are degrading and putting down and trying to drag through the mud the people who are helping. And so these bloggers and these content creators, there are some that are very helpful and getting the name out and the information out. And then there are others who are just, like you said, dragging people through the mud for their own education and their own desires to get headlines and people to come and listen to them. And to me, as Andy Warhol said, everybody gets their 15 minutes of fame, but their 15 minutes are up. And we're tired of it. And we're not going to sit tight and let these people utilize these powerful platforms online to drag and defame individuals who are trying to find, one who's trying to desperately find his son, and others who are trying to find this young man on behalf of his father and his family. And so we have taken action, and we are moving forward in everything we can to stop it and continue doing investigation here, and that is to find Sebastian.
Dog, when you have a mother who does not seem to want to participate in the search for her child, at least publicly, what does that tell you, mother and stepfather, the Proudfoots I'm speaking of?
Well, brother, I'll leave that up to your viewers to decide. As far as I've done this way over 40 years, and I lost a baby girl, Barbara Katie at 22 years old. 19 years ago, I barely still can talk about it. So that is like unbelievable. And I also heard that there's witnesses that once Sebastian was in the front yard and Chris Proudfoot was screaming at him, and he called him a retard. And Sebastian hit the ground and started bawling. So, I mean, all these, what is the old saying? All roads point to Rome. I mean, this is like almost obvious.
Well, if they were involved, though, Dog, then one would think they didn't have a ton of time. They didn't have a ton of sophistication, one would think. Where is Sebastian, and how could they, let's say the worst did happen, how would they have gotten away with it? Is this a shoddy investigation from day one?
Well, somewhat. Somewhat. It's the police office, it's the TBI. I guess their lead guy is ahead of it. So yeah, put blame where it falls. That guy, it's just incredible. I can't believe that. But what so far what our leads could say, there is a manhole right in front of the Proudfoot's property. And they've said, yeah, the drone or the cops, somebody said, they flew drones in there. And there's like 3 foot of mud, okay? Then a dog, a really good dog, 2 of them, one of them stopped at the edge of the pond that was drained, and the other one jumped in the pond. If Sebastian was put down that manhole into the mud, the scent would have carried to that pond. So I want to know why they haven't blocked that off, got in some kind of suit, and went on their hands and knees and looked in that manhole and all the way to the pond. Dogs, their sense of smell is so much more than a human being. And for a German Shepherd to jump in the water, well, they drain the pond. Yeah, because he could be in that manhole, in that little, cave, whatever they call it, inside there where it drains to that pond. So there's a lot of things that the TBI could be doing and haven't done nothing. Now, I heard they flew a drone in there. Well, you know how muddy that is and how thick a mud is in there? You know, flying a drone on top inside is not going to do nothing.
Yeah. All right, we're going to get a break. Coming up next, we're going to ask, what is the current status of the investigation?
Okay.
All right. So are we? I guess we're back here. I saw somebody in the chat asking about Clinton, New York, wanting to know if it's the county Clinton or the town Clinton, and I think it's the town. The way it's written is like Clinton, comma New York. So I'm assuming that's the town of Clinton, New York, and not the county, which is I think the county's up on the border of Canada.
I think it's called where she lives was a village, and she lives in the village of Clinton, which is Clinton. And she said she could put some flyers up, so that didn't hurt for sure.
Sure, and that was something I was thinking. Anyhow, if you are located in any of these places right now, Seattle, Oregon, or upstate New York, this might be the time to kind of refresh people's memory about the case. It's always kind of one of those things when you have, if you connect with people on Facebook, for example, if you put stuff out all the time, you kind of wear people out and run them off. Where you end up, you know what I mean? Like if you put up political posts 20 times a day, I mean, people eventually just block you or, mute you or whatever they do. But if you kind of once in a while kind of spread it out and not overwhelm people with it, I think that's more effective. But if you haven't put anything up about Sebastian in a little while, this might be the time to do it, since it seems like those 3 states may have some things going on. So that if you're in those areas, especially Seattle, or that was it Ford Pond or something in Oregon, any of the states really, this might be a good time to kind of refresh people's memory in your circle on that case.
Just so everybody knows, excuse me, just so everybody knows, I did go ahead and give some memberships. So I went ahead. I couldn't wait. It was like Christmas. I just wanted to go ahead and give those out.
Yeah, better than us forgetting about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I saw Busby came in. Hi, Busby. It was a pleasure meeting you at the vigil. Wonderful person.
Yeah, good to see you, Busby. And
Lolly's here. Hi, Lolly.
Actually, a lot of folks kind of joined in here as we were watching that video.
Yeah.
And of course, the dog is hilarious. That Lesniak or any attorney that's sitting beside dog is just kind of cringing the whole time, just hoping it doesn't say anything.
Yeah,
like
that's what Linda said.
Yeah. Joseph Lesniak's face cracks me up. It must be so hard for him to keep dog from going too far. Yeah, I know. He's just he's going to say what he thinks. And
also we met, I don't know if we already mentioned this, but we met CJ also at the vigil, and he's super nice.
I think he was here earlier, if he's not now.
No, he's here. He just said hello.
Yeah, he was great.
Oh, we did talk about it. I just forget. Sorry.
Yeah. So it's funny. I mean, sometimes this happens. He has a personality that's very similar to a friend of mine from college days. And so it's almost like, I don't know.
You have to talk.
It's so familiar that it's like almost talking to an old friend, because his personality is almost identical to another friend of mine that I've had.
Oh, and Narca Divers too. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that was great meeting all of y'all. There I went super Southern on you with my all of y'all.
All y'all.
All y'all.
It's plural.
Yeah. Gave myself away on my region, didn't I? So also in that interview, they're talking about
oh, Cassie. She's so sweet.
He brings up this 8 or 9 year old that had been so Cassie says, I live in Seattle. I place flyers in doctors' offices and gas stations and passed out to truckers.
Doctors' offices, that's a great idea.
Yeah, that is a good idea.
That's a really good idea.
Because if he is out there, good chance at some point he'll need medical attention. Someone has him.
Oh, Joan Kelly. She said, I just giggled. I love all y'all.
All y'all. All y'all I like. Yeah. So, but Dog does talk about this 8 or 9 year old that had been rescued. So it seems like he's thinking along those lines also, as a real possibility, because he was saying that I wish we could get it. I didn't understand what he meant for the first time I heard it, but what he's saying is, I wish we could get pictures of Sebastian in the hands of these other victims, because maybe they've seen him somewhere within the network, right? Seth Rogers says, thank you everyone for the prayer. Sebastian, I love you, and we will find you. Sebastian's army, Sebastian strong. Y'all be blessed. You too, Seth. I just thinking about you a lot today, actually. So I can't imagine, but we appreciate you being here, and yeah, you definitely have You have thousands of people praying for you every day, and you're getting help. I mean, people are rallying. It's getting to the president. So I think you're going to get some answers, and you're going to. I'm hoping, very hopeful, that here in about 2 months you'll have the best help the country can offer, and then who knows from there. Anything could have happened. CJ says manholes are definitely possible. The flashlight video matches the path to the manhole we covered. Flashlight video. Oh, okay. So there's one out on is that Kellen? There's a manhole over there.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
So.
But there's one specifically that they highlighted in one of the videos. It's kind of a raised one along that path.
And it's
Right.
my understanding during the construction, some of them were open. So
Yeah, I mean, and things like that have happened in the past. It's possible. Sometimes people are found right near a home. So I guess that's possible. So if they want to go back and recheck and relook, it doesn't hurt to go back over these things over and over, because it's anything could have been missed.
oh, that's a very nice thing to say. Seth, your 615 picker says 615, hello. 865 picker says, Seth, your presence is just another sign of how much you are doing to find your son.
Yeah, I know. We appreciate it, and it helps. Hopefully, everyone can continue keeping his story out there. I was thinking about this today. Even AtNight being involved helps the story stay out there, because after the FBI reward, if you imagine, like, if AtNight hadn't gotten involved, there really wouldn't have been a whole lot more to discuss until something was revealed to us from a law enforcement agency, because they're keeping everything quiet. Maybe the only thing to talk about might be the Bullhorn Betty situation, but that's not a whole lot to discuss there. You would have been left with occasionally discussing a vigil, maybe just kind of revisiting certain interviews and such. But AtNight being involved has brought new interest and life into the story, because the celebrity of Dog has helped with that. The various updates that we get from this agency, and asking for new leads and offering new areas of interest and such, and theories. So that has helped to keep the story alive just in and of itself. So otherwise, I'm not sure how much people would be able to discuss this case at this point.
Oh, and 865 picker, I must have missed it. I did a 199.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't see that.
I didn't either. I'm so sorry.
I don't know.
Well,
I
thank
didn't
you.
see it either.
Yeah, that's happened a couple of times
It's
though.
not
Where
showing up on mine at all.
yeah, that has
24
happened.
to I-65 when we were talking about that earlier. So
Okay.
I'm
I
so
never
sorry
saw it.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you guys, I don't know what's going on between YouTube and StreamYard. There's just been a lot of weirdness.
Yeah. So
and we're not the only ones. Other people I watch have been having problems too.
yeah. But thank you, 865. We do appreciate you doing that. And so anything
Okay,
else in the-
CJ was talking about. I'm missing.
I think he said I saw him saying something about he's doing a video tonight on the manholes.
Oh, great!
So or he's revisiting some of his footage, I think, and kind of going into that. That'd be interesting, because that's not something I know much about. What was searched and kind of what.
That's what he said. He's doing a revisiting video about them tonight. That's a great idea.
Yeah,
because they've definitely been talked about quite a bit. So
yeah, so if Dog's talking about it, then it's something they are actively currently considering. So
and TJ actually said specifically the cave that caved in would be a good one to search. If they're able to get to that, I know exactly what you're talking about. So that would be.
Yeah, you'd have to. Yeah. I mean that's possible too.
I think at some point you do have to go revisit things, because if we don't have leads that that turn out to be credible. There's got to be things that's being missed that we just can't figure it out yet.
Yeah. And then I guess from that interview, the other, or at least this first half we've done, the other thing, of course, is that the Proudfoots were contacted, is what the host says, and that they declined to come on the show or comment or anything like that. So, that's what that is. And
do you all know if they've been on at all? When's the last time they were on any shows or commented? Do you know?
He does.
Yes, it was the last time Chris was on. He did a panel show. It was the same night we were at, I don't remember the date now, but it was the same night we went to go visit Tennessee with our son.
I can tell you what night.
When UT played the Kent State. It was that, whatever date that was.
Well,
so it was at the
took
beginning of the
pictures.
football season.
I took pictures.
He talked for maybe 10 or 15 minutes or something like that.
We
wasn't really a lot of information from that.
On
and
September 14th.
Okay, so that's been about 2 months. And, in that, Chris had indicated that they might come out and discuss things in the future, answer questions, I think is what he said. But I don't know if that's still happening or if there's any plan for that. And then Katie is, I think the date is May 23rd is the last time she's publicly talked to any media, at least where she's been like on video. They do have the statement they released a couple of days after the FBI reward. So if you counted that, then I guess that would be, a statement to the media.
K-Mac's heading to bed. Thank you, K-Mac.
Thank you,
We
K-Mac.
appreciate it. I know you have an early day every day, and I appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much. Auntie, anything else from the video, that first half that you wanted to kind of?
No, I think we pretty much hit everything. I mean, I just think I like the way that Dog kind of pokes the bear and tries to get tries to beat around the bush and not say what he needs to say, but we all know what he's meaning. So I like the way he does things. His technique. He did the same thing on the show. When he had his TV show, he would do some of the same things. So I just think he's so funny, and but he also means business.
Oh yeah, he has a switch, right?
This is a good point by Lolly. She says, revisiting, you find something you skipped over the first time you hear it. Absolutely. I catch new stuff all the time. And I do go through these interviews quite a bit. So
I think, the one that, as far as the old interviews, that Web Sleuth one is the one to me that seems like it's got the most, like there's a lot from that didn't make sense back then. But as we've learned more, that is a more important interview. Like that might be one for us to go back and go through again sometime, because there's a lot of stuff that didn't make any sense at the time, but makes sense now, or makes more sense with everybody in that whole thing. So that might be another one to go back and look at. But yeah, because as we learn more information, things that were said in the past have different meanings. Do we want to do the second half?
Sure.
I think it's 15:43 is the minute mark.
Okay.
Is there something wrong?
Oh, I was just looking at chat. I just want to remind everybody, if you're new here, to be respectful and kind to each other in chat. I'm sorry.
I haven't
Annie.
seen anything.
Okay.
I've been watching.
Okay. I just want to remind everybody. Sorry. Okay. And where do you want me to start? Just right after the commercial break?
Yeah, I think it was 15:43, if I remember correctly.
Okay. Yeah,
or 15:40.
Okay, hold on one second. I want to take that comment down. You said 15:40?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay, I think I'm pretty close. So
and his lawyer to keep him in check, Joe Lesniak. Let's, Dog, you're in Tennessee. What's going on? Is there anything you can share with us in terms of new developments in your investigation?
Officers, I respect law enforcement so much, and they were saying that way back then that they had no leads. Okay, nobody should be charged or blah, blah, blah. But now, what about now? What about today? What about last week? I think you guys need to do interviews now, update everybody. What about right now after all these things have, come forward? And a lot of people online, whatever, are saying, dog, what gives you the right? What gives you the right? You're a bounty hunter. What gives you the right? Well, what gives me the right is Tennessee has one of the greatest of all time laws. It's called the Citizen's Right to Arrest Law. You talk about booting a door in and going in and grabbing them. I can do that. I'm a citizen, whether I'm Dog the Bounty Hunter, Dwayne Lee Chapman, or I have the right as a citizen of the United States of America to put in custody and take out the person that hurt or whatever happened to little Sebastian.
So are you onto something?
Yes, sir.
Can you share?
Well, no, because they'll run. I know who the weakest link is. You get in Tennessee, brother, it's the death penalty. That is the death penalty. Would they rather go to lethal injection, or would they rather be paroled in 20 years or something? They still would have time to, live a life. So that one of the Tennessee carries the death penalty.
Let me get this straight. You're on to a lead. You're there in Tennessee. You're actively pursuing it. And
yes, sir.
Now, I get that you have the right to move forward with what you believe is possibly detaining an individual or two, or I don't want any details because you're being cagey, but do you have to alert law enforcement before you make any sort of a move to let everybody know, hey, I'm here and here's what I'm doing?
No, sir. I don't have to alert no one. I cannot transport. I can arrest, cuff, and then the cops come or whoever to read that person their rights and transport them to jail. I can do everything but read them their rights or transport. But under the law, the United States of America, I can arrest.
Give us a little hint. Like, did you is this someone who has always been part of the landscape, or is this something new? And don't jump in, Joe, and have them stop.
Yeah, well, I have to jump in and have them stop. Dwayne, a dog, you can't, yes, you're Ted, both of them are possibly right. So good questions, but yes. There's a private investigator also involved that we need to keep secure as well. So I know you're looking for information, but we got to be careful how far we go.
Talk about then. All right, we're going to let this play out, and hopefully we'll be one of your first calls when you make a break in this case. We're all hoping that, because that's what everybody's hoping for. In fact,
well, I carry a film crew with me everywhere I go, brother.
Yes, the reward up to $170K, $175,000. That's a lot of money. There seems to be a lot of interest in this country still in finding Sebastian, which is fantastic. Can you talk about the people that you have behind you, Dog, that are helping to support your investigation?
Well, there's several, many, and I can't name their names, but it's all, it's not like we're preaching in a church and taking offering, but there are a lot of people that have pledged their money to it's kind of tricky about rewards. Okay. We want what happened to Sebastian. So the reward goes to whoever can tell us where Sebastian is and or what happened to him. And Joe, I hope this doesn't get me in trouble, but brother, since you've heard all this and you guys are good at Court TV, and who do you think did it?
Joe won't let me answer, so I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Attorney Ted, go ahead.
Yeah, gentlemen, thank you for all you're doing, and because the goal is here to find this young man, find Sebastian Rogers, hopefully alive and well. Joe Lesniak, Dwayne Chapman, Dog the Bounty Hunter, thank you both for everything, and keep us updated, please, as this continues, this investigation.
Well, thank you for having us on and keeping this at the forefront. It's shows like this that really help to, like you said, keep it moving forward and keep it on people's minds, because as time goes on, we as Americans, some people will lose sight of it. So thank you.
Yeah. So that's, are we back?
Yeah.
So that part with the citizens arrest and all of that, of course, got a lot of attention. It was very, very interesting. What do you think of that, Auntie? Why do you think he did that?
I think he just is doing it to let people know that if they have a lead, they can pursue it and they can actually make the arrest, cuff the person. And I think he's talking to whoever did it. Whoever took him, and he's saying, "Hey, we suspect we can come after you, and that's what we might do." I think he's just doing it to kind of, I don't want to say a threat, but letting people know what he's capable of doing.
Yeah, I think they know, of course, whoever the suspects would be, of course, are watching all of this. Anytime Dog goes on and does an interview, they're going to watch to see what he's got to say, to see if he drops any hints to being onto whatever they've done. Of course, the suspects, whoever they may be, are probably hanging on every word that Dog says. So when he tells them that, I wondered if that's almost to protect his people in case that situation arises, to let them know that this is a legal action the guys are doing, So if it came to that where, because it's not going to be, maybe it would be, maybe it would be Dog himself out. I think he's more of in the general, he's not going to be the foot soldier anymore out there rolling around in the front yard, cuffing somebody.
Right.
At this, he's going to be sitting in the car as the general, and he'll have whoever his guys are,
send in the troops.
Send in the troops to do, if that kind of situation arises where they think they've got to make an immediate grab, to let them know, should this happen, this is a lawful action and not to resist it.
Well, I think it's also interesting that he goes to he's letting people know that that's the Tennessee law, that you can do a citizen's arrest. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, Hindsight did a great video about that. If you have not checked out Hindsight's channel, Hindsight has been putting up some community posts and also some videos about that. So it's very interesting.
I did see that video. It was very good.
A couple of things that went on that I starred while the video was running is 421 GTO guy says, wouldn't that be something to watch Dog on live TV arresting? So I thought that was funny.
Yes.
And then YouTuber wanted to know, I would love to know who Dog thinks the weakest link is. So
that was interesting, the way he really put that out there. We know who the weakest link is. He didn't beat around the bush, but he wants you to know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Jenny Machete. I meant to make you a moderator. Thank you for reaching out, and I am adding you right now.
See, that's the stuff where somebody like Dog is so useful, because his whole life has been getting people to talk that don't want to talk, and getting a sense of who's weak and who's not, and who can, just trial by fire.
And
he's learned
criticism. I think he's gotten criticism from some people saying, he's over the hill, he's old, he's like the Mike Tyson of bounty hunters. He's kind of over the hill type thing. But I think his voice is still very relevant. People still know who he is, and I think he brings a whole new layer to the case to escalate it and bring it forward in the public.
Well, see, I think it's very small-minded to think that he is the one doing the footwork,
Right.
He has a team. AtNight has a team of, it's my understanding, subcontracted investigators. So,
Well, and Lisa said dog is the best bounty hunter. He's still the best bounty hunter.
it doesn't mean he can't be the one directing what's going on.
Right.
He could be 102 and still be able to talk to people and get people to talk that wouldn't normally talk. It doesn't matter.
The instincts wouldn't be gone. and all that.
Exactly. That's my point. Exactly.
He's probably, I mean, like I said, I don't know. Maybe
It's just,
maybe he'd be just like, maybe he would just run out of the car and go grab a person.
well,
if he's
maybe he
like,
would. I mean, he seems
know?
to be in better shape than me.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe I couldn't do that.
right.
I'm quite a bit younger.
I just think it's a very, I don't know. It just seems like, I don't know. Just seems like a small-minded thought to think that he's out there.
I think what happens is people just see what they see on the screen and they think that's all there exists.
Oh yeah,
Right,
There's many
exactly.
more
Just
layers.
Dog the bounty hunter riding alone in a car. He's got a squad of guys wherever he goes.
Oh,
Well, he
yeah.
even said he has a film crew with him everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
So he's got an entourage, a huge one.
Yeah, he's just sitting in the car, directing and that kind of thing. So
Right. And TJ's got a great point. He makes people feel at ease and he's trustworthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing that I thought we would mention, Jen and Dawn, though, says, I'm still curious about the Duck River body that they haven't released. We were talking about this just prior to starting the show, and TBI is asking for help in identifying that. So do you want to give them some background real quick?
yeah, so they found a body. This is at like a little over an hour away from Hendersonville, but kind of in the direction of Memphis off I-40, but it's a little south of Interstate 40. It's in Hickman County. And they said the body had been decomposed to a point where they really weren't sure how long it had been there, but a while, it sounds like. And this was on November 7th, I think it was discovered. And the only other detail they've given is that it's a male. Of course, we've had a lot of these situations happen around Middle Tennessee where various people have been found. They didn't give a cause of death or really any other details. But they were going to try to do an autopsy on that. And I think the last report I saw was from November 9th. So not sure. We're just not sure what that is.
Oh, no.
It's awful.
The asking for help with identification came out 12 hours or so ago.
Oh, it did. I didn't
Yeah.
see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
What? So how could people help?
I have no idea. That's what it said. I can pull it up for you.
Do they have any identifying clothing or anything like that?
I'll let you look at the article because there's a few other things I wanted to mention. Let's see.
Yeah, the oldest one or the newest one I found was from
Okay.
November 9th. I didn't know there was one
Yeah.
from today.
It's I think it's today. Yeah, right here. You can read it to everybody.
So the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations was trying to determine the identity of a body found November 7th in a gully adjacent to the new Sheboss Road in southeast Hickman County. Hickman County Sheriff's Department Detective Tommy McClanahan reported that the body was of a male that was decomposed beyond recognition, perhaps over several weeks. The TBI took custody of the person, and I need an active subscription.
Yeah, that's as far as I got. But maybe I can find I couldn't find that exact. Let me look on the TBI.
Well, regardless, yeah. So I mean, it's awful, whoever this is anyway. We've had so many situations like this. You just don't realize how many bodies, end up in rivers and creeks and things until you're kind of like so invested in a missing person case.
I don't
Water.
see the TBI
You
statement.
just learn how dangerous water is. People just slipping and falling into rivers and things, and kayaking and all that.
I don't have the full statement. There's some
Brandy-
news.
Brandy and Indy says people were commenting in Clutch and Pearls show that he was identified. So I don't know
Oh,
if that's
okay.
Oh,
I don't know if that's true or not, but that she said that.
Well, maybe since they came out with a statement that happened.
okay.
So a few things. I saw a really good comment. Where did it go? Oh, this is a great point.
Brandy says the weakest link comment also infers multiple people involved.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
And then I saw some other good points.
Yeah, I think there's definitely multiple people.
Yeah, I think we kind of felt like it was multiple for a while.
Yeah, we've had a lot of indications that that's the leading theory for most everyone that's looked at this, is that there's more than one person involved.
And Busby said Hickman County is Centerville, Tennessee area.
Yeah. And TJ says he has a bunch of young pups to do the heavy lifting. Exactly, as he should.
That we'll probably never see.
Yes.
And Teresa says it's been reported that it is not Sebastian.
Oh, good. I mean, you know what I mean. I don't mean it like that. I shouldn't say it like that. But I mean.
Yes, they've been identified. Tennessee nurse said yes.
I don't mean that. I know. I didn't mean it like that. Sorry.
It's a tragedy for whoever it is.
It's a tragedy. Yes.
Right. Yes.
And this is where you think of being in this situation and how awful. This is what happened with the Riley Strain family. They had that happen where a body came out, and it's terrible for the person it was, and it wasn't their child. And you're glad, but you're also heartbroken for this other person, and it's just how do you feel about things like that? Tennessee nurse says, to my understanding, one needs to have knowledge that someone committed a felony for a citizen's arrest. It's not just made for any small crime. I could be wrong. Yeah, I think that's actually what it says. I think you're right about that. So yeah, you couldn't just grab, shoplifting. You couldn't just go tackle somebody in the store. I don't think as a citizen and do that. I believe that's correct. So yeah, it'd have to be an indication of a serious crime. I believe you're right. And I think Hindsight's video highlighted that, if I remember correctly. Another thing we haven't talked about, and I think this happened. I don't think this happened before our last live stream, but we never mentioned it. But the New York Post did a story on this whole situation as well, and it was a great article. It wasn't just like a little blurb. It was a deep, long article about everything that's happened, from the sighting in North Carolina to dog and the flashlights and everything. And so it was great. And New York Post, I went and looked at this just a few minutes ago just to refresh my memory, but it's the third biggest newspaper in the country in terms of circulation, just behind the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. So that's massive to get that out on that in that way. And it was kind of like when we were talking about the Daily Mail a few months ago when they did the story on Sebastian. These newspapers and everybody, they all pay attention to each other and who's covering what. And so other newspapers that are out there, they're likely to, be willing to cover this story as well as it goes on. So more eyeballs are good. And, Dog the Bounty Hunter being involved is likely one of the reasons that it got in the Post. And this all snowballs. It's all good. It's getting to the president. How amazing would it be for him to just have one sentence to say about Sebastian Rogers at some point in an interview? It's the biggest platform on the planet, and so that would bring all kinds of awareness and eyeballs.
Sally Mae says she thinks that social media is a big hindrance. That's interesting.
That what now?
That it's on the screen. Oh, it's not on your screen. How weird.
Sally Mae says social media is a big hindrance. Yeah, I don't know. There have been some cases that have been solved through social media, so it can be an effective tool.
Mrs. E, look at your phone.
Yeah, and sometimes, there was the kid, and it wasn't a crime. Do you remember the young man that had schizophrenia that was in Michigan? And he had been missing for like 3 or 4 months.
Yes.
And then someone saw him in the background of like a DJ's party or something on YouTube and recognized him. And that's how he was brought home safely. And, that's.
Well, and you think Gabby Petito's another one. Social media, the people saw and recognized, from social media, and they were able to identify where they were in the van and all that kind of stuff, and gave them pertinent information to help solve the case.
Do you want to address this?
And then
nonsense.
Probably not. I don't. Who are they referring to? I don't know. How do you know?
I don't know. Let's see.
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, I just want to remind it. There's people in here that are new. We don't tolerate hatefulness in our chat, and you will be deleted and blocked. And so, if our mods are out there and see anything that's hateful, get rid of it.
We're not sure who they're referring to either. There.
Oh, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I can't tell. So you probably saw it in context. Sometimes I see things out of context in the chat, and I don't know who they're talking about.
They're referring to the comment we have up here. I promise you that's what they're talking about. So if you want to address it, that's fine.
Yeah.
If not, that's fine.
No.
I'm just going to start blocking.
Yeah, that's a good one, Karen. It was TikTok. A TikToker found Riley Strain's bank card on the side of the river. I forgot about that one. And that had been after a huge search right in the major area where they knew he disappeared, and somehow they did not see his bank cards laying in the rocks. And of course, at first, everybody thought it was a hoax because they just thought it was some kind of YouTube stunt, but it actually ended up being his bank card. So they
showed it on the TikTok video. I watched it, and it's clear. It shows his name on the card.
And then some things you don't know if something indirectly helped or not. Because the Angel Turner girl that we talked about here, she ended up being found, but I still don't really know why, who tipped and how they heard about it. It could have been because of a flyer someone had seen with her. It could have been a news report, but it might have been a YouTube video somebody watched and recognized her, knew her story. The first people that did it were, at least on YouTube, was Two Girls and a Mic, I think is the name of their show. And then, they did an interview with the mom. And then a couple of other YouTubers like JLR and Michelle After Dark did it. And then we did it. And Clutch and Pearls did it, I think, before we did, and it kind of snowballs. We all kind of see the story and think it's interesting, and it kind of all spider webs out, and people start covering it. And then she was found, and we don't really know how the person was rescued, but it might have been because they saw a YouTube video or a TikTok or anything. We don't really know. And in this scenario,
here's a Mohawk mom. It's perfect.
Yeah. This is what Auntie was saying.
Sorry, I missed it.
Yeah, but Gabby was found because of a family that did van life on YouTube and other social media forums. Yeah.
Yes.
And I know there's a lot of like true crime podcasts that have done cold cases. And because of those, that renewed interest, it solved cases in the past. So, these things can be helpful, but they can be a hindrance too.
This is kind of leading into some of the things you were talking about earlier when we were discussing how people can help.
So Janine Simmons says, I'm a walking billboard. I wear my pink Sebastian t-shirt a bunch. I am in Texas. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I'm sure that's great, because you just never know. It takes that one person. What if you were walking by somebody that had seen him somewhere? You just really, it could be any time. Wannabe Sleuth and something says Abraham Shakespeare's case was solved with so much help from web sleuths.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know that one, but I'm sure you're correct. So it can be helpful, harmful as well, but I think it can help. We just have to all do this the right way. The news is not, little.
Marlene is here, and she has a good statement.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You don't hear of the news talking about Sebastian at all. Court TV, that's it. I haven't seen him anywhere else. If it wasn't for social media, no one would know Sebastian existed. So I think social media has kept it alive in a lot of ways, because they do pay attention to numbers, the news people. They see what social media is trending and talking about. Because they're not, they're driven by their own ratings and such too. So that they see that there's still continued interest in conversation about Sebastian does make it more likely for them to talk about it than not. Yeah, so I think that's could be important that way
Okay,
too.
and then Marlena was saying, not all social media drags families. There's good and bad. And
Sure.
sorry, I got distracted. There's good and bad social media, no matter the topic. So that was nice. And then Dreaming of Blue Skies got another. I mean, they're all over the place here, guys.
Yes.
Hana Kobayashi, the missing woman from Hawaii, was captured by a photographer this past week in California while at a LeBron Nike event.
That's
Hopefully
so
she is found
interesting.
safe.
Oh, she's the one that never made her connecting flight. She
Oh,
was
is that the
in-
one?
She's the one in I think she's the one that was in the airport, and they don't know what happened. She disappeared, but she did not make her connecting flight in the airport to go back to Hawaii. Are you checking out?
Yeah, just give me 1 second, please. You can read some stuff while I'm looking at some things, if you don't
Do I need
mind.
to look at this?
Yeah, you need to look at that.
Okay, let's see.
Let's see. Hold on 1 second.
Let's see if we got.
I got it.
My comments are loading. It takes a minute. Yeah, she was the one at the LAX airport. I saw that story. It's very, very strange. I hope they find this girl. She like I said, she was in LA for a game. She was there. That she was at the airport, and she never got on
Let's just go ahead and read this.
connecting.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we had something that just came through, and I'm going to show it here on the screen. Hold on 1 second. Let me get it ready.
That's awesome, R. Taylor. I'm glad everyone on your street knows about it. I've told everybody I can think of where I live, but it never hurts to tell people. Show those pictures.
Okay, so
I got you.
we just got
Okay.
tipped off. Somebody just let me know that this has just come up on X from AtNight.
Okay, so I'm going to read this from AtNight Private Intelligence. This is their X account. Public update on the search for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, November 18th, 2024. Earlier today, AtNight, in collaboration with Dog the Bounty Hunter and its team of licensed private investigators and contractors, acted on a tip received regarding a potential sighting of 15-year-old Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers at a Motel 6 in Goodlettsville, Tennessee. Details of the investigation. A tip received on November 15th indicated that a teenage boy matching Sebastian's description had been seen at the motel alongside individuals displaying suspicious behavior. The report included detailed descriptions of vehicles and patterns of activity. Licensed investigators working in tandem for AtNight's high-risk violent fugitive recovery task force on behalf of Mr. Rogers initiated surveillance. Teams observed activity matching the tipster's description.
Where are we at?
In the middle.
Including
the presence of a red sports car and behavioral patterns consistent with the tip. Investigators identified 2 rooms of interest at the motel and noted individuals entering and exiting the area. A teenage boy was observed entering one of the rooms, prompting the investigators to immediately escalate the situation. At approximately 4:47 p.m., the Sumner County Sheriff's Department was notified and responded to the scene promptly. At the same time, AtNight alerted the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and the FBI's Operation Rescue Me, transmitting a full report of findings to federal authorities. Responding officers quickly arrived on the scene and determined that the individual observed was not Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. While this outcome was not what we had hoped for, it underscores the importance of reliable tips and the public's involvement in this case. Moving forward, we remain committed to following every credible lead. Today's events highlight the precision and coordination required in this investigation, and we are encouraged by the responsiveness of the public and law enforcement. How you can help: if you have any information regarding Sebastian's whereabouts, please come forward. Even the smallest detail could make a difference. And then it has Sumner County Sheriff's Office, 615-451-3838, TBI, 1-800-TBI-FIND. FBI is tips.fbi.gov. And or you could at Dog Bounty Hunter or 833-TELL-DOG. Or if you prefer AtNight, 844-922-3236, or email mostwanted@manhunts.one. however you want to do it, just get those tips in.
Well, there's a little bit more.
Oh, there is. Okay. I didn't know where that was about to go there. Wow, so that's wild. Thank you for your support. We remain steadfast in our efforts and will continue to investigate every tip we receive. No tip is too small, and every piece of information is treated with urgency and importance. The speed at which today's lead was investigated reflects our dedication to the search and the critical role of public involvement. The search for Sebastian Waindrake Rogers is ongoing, and we are grateful for the continued vigilance and support of the public. Every tip brings us closer to the answers we need. Together, we will find Sebastian.
Wow.
So,
I guess that shows you that they're on the ground in the area.
yeah, so Goodlettsville is right next to Hendersonville.
Oh, it looks like they've got the dispatch audio. Do you guys want to hear that?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, hold on. All right. I've got to mute our mic. Hold on.
It's going to be associated at 323 Cartwright Street at the Motel 6. Caller advised they have possibly seen Sebastian Rogers on the second floor of the building. Advised someone was with him and they rushed a teenage boy into the room. 14 Thermite Boys. Can you repeat? I've got 44 dispatch. 50 to Central. I'm Zone 2. So is that in Goodlettsville or Millersville City? 14, you want me to start in that way? Yes, please. It's in Goodlettsville. Maybe Steve Goodlettsville's better even. Thank you. 50 you go with it. So, advised they were last seen going into room 112. So they supposedly saw him, took a picture, and then left the scene and call it in? Central 50, that's a negative. Caller advised she is an investigator. She has 2 PIs on scene. They are the ones taking a picture. Advised they are sending to her. PIs are going to be on scene. 10-4. That's 10-4. 50 good, sir. Showing on scene with those.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's good. Well,
So is it-
thank you to the person who emailed that to me. I appreciate you being so
Yeah.
diligent.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. So they were, well, I mean, something like that, I guess, could be possible, right? A hotel, motel type of situation, especially if you're thinking that, that he's out there being moved around. So I can see why they would think a location like that might be possible. You could be moving all around the area, maybe.
About how far would that be from where his home was?
Well, that not far.
Home is
Not far at all.
Is
That because Goodlettsville is just the town over, and part of Goodlettsville still in Sumner County. So that Motel 6 would have to be the one that's like pretty close.
yes,
Like
mhm.
right maybe 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes from his home. So
Wow.
not far.
that's
Yeah.
not far at all from his house.
Yeah. If it's the area I'm thinking of, I think because it's right off the interstates where a lot of the motels and such are.
Yeah, Marlena, I bet Seth was very nervous about that. And
Yes.
I can't imagine. Yeah, Karen says, what a roller coaster for him. I know it's terrible.
It's awful.
It is every day.
But that must have been really hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. That's
Somebody said, I hope that they saw the right teenage boy. I'm sure that once they did the initial search, that they checked the identities of the people that they were.
yeah, make sure I'm getting this right. So they're saying that they were saying that they got the tip on the 15th, right? So what day would that be? Were they Friday?
Yeah.
So Friday they had the tip, and then they had their investigators, I guess, watching pretty shortly after, maybe Saturday or Sunday. Yeah. And that sounded on that call that there were at least 3 investigators in the area. That's what that dispatch was saying.
Yeah, Lolo, I understand how you feel. That was kind of, I didn't know where that was going.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say sorry to Sally Mae. I think she got accidentally timed out in a crossfire, and we want to apologize to her for that, because sometimes that happens. Sometimes these things jump on us and we accidentally time out or kick out the wrong person. That's happened before, and we apologize.
Can you bring her back in?
Yeah, she's back in now. She just wanted to have an explanation of what she said. And I don't think she said anything terrible. I think it was just an accident, because StreamYard jumps on us when we try to do some stuff sometimes. And sometimes people get caught in the crossfire, and I apologize.
Yeah, Tennessee Nurse said they said private investigators, plural. So that's fabulous. And I agree. It shows that they've got boots on the ground in the area daily. So that's
right here.
Great. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, just right in the area for sure. So, and I, well, I'm man, that's,
it just kind of makes your heart race, doesn't it?
You just don't know. You have no idea. You just don't know. And, he is one of those, I've heard several people say this, but Sebastian's one of those kids with the glasses. He looks like so many kids. A misidentification could happen. You can understand it. Dark hair and glasses and a small frame and all that kind of thing. And and
just imagine how scared that kid was.
Yeah.
Well,
well, I don't know. Did it?
I don't know.
I don't know. Did they go up and knock?
Yes, that was today. I believe
that this afternoon at 4. That's what it says.
Yeah.
4:40.
So I just retweeted it on our X account. So if you guys want to see it,
that's wild. That's really wild. Yeah, but sorry.
No, that's okay.
That's just
And they said that's the Motel 6 beside Cracker Barrel in Goodlettsville. I know where
so it's real. Yeah, it's real close.
And Trooper's mom, I heard you're not feeling well. I hope you're feeling better. And prayers to you for healing.
Yeah, I don't know. This doesn't really say if that was I assume that was a lawful situation. Somebody was asking, did they rescue that child? Maybe.
I don't know.
Karen,
we don't know. That might have been a legal situation. We don't know.
Yeah.
But,
it's like when so many kids look like Harry Potter. No joke.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of, and it's just the glasses just make it hard to identify.
Mm-hmm.
He's got that distinct smile, but if he's not smiling, harder to tell. But
Rosebud, that was my first thought too. I wonder if there was any criminal activity with that situation. Yeah, that was my first thought.
Might have been. Because they don't go into why. They do say something in that about suspicious, didn't they?
Yes.
So we don't know what that meant. But something in their actions seemed, and maybe it was. I mean, sometimes, those hotels like that or motels have things going on.
Well, I mean, I guess the good thing is that they are clearly following leads.
Yeah.
If for nothing else, even though this one was disappointing, one might pan out. So.
Yeah. So maybe. Well, so they're doing it. I mean, we've kind of believed that anyway. But there's people that have been skeptical. And
someone's saying that there were charges. I don't know if that's correct or not.
I don't know about that. Let's see.
I don't know.
Oh, wow. Well, we'd have to confirm that.
There, I know what you're talking about. There is a man. I didn't think about it. I didn't think about that, but there is a man I saw today that got arrested on several counts of SA with minors in the county. But
in our county?
Yeah. Like a 58-year-old man. I know his name.
Oh, is that his name? Brandy and Indy just put it up. Is this it? Whoops.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that man. He got several counts of different crimes of that nature.
Susan said, hi, Susan Smith, by the way. Nice to see you. She said Nick Barris shared it a bit ago.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I saw his mugshot on something earlier and the counts and all that, but I didn't know. I don't. Are they saying he got arrested at that Motel 6? Is that what they're saying?
I don't know.
No,
Maybe
I think it's a coincidence.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because that was this late this afternoon. That the media probably wouldn't have all that quickly.
I see.
I mean, that was like at 5 o'clock or 4.
Yeah, but yeah. So, but that caught my attention
Well,
just because.
it says 5 hours ago.
Yeah. So this guy.
Hold on.
This looks. That many charges. This looks like this is probably something they've been watching. For
Oh, it says an ongoing investigation that began October 2nd.
Yeah.
So.
Because he's got like 11 counts of S exploitation of a minor, 4 counts of
Oh my stars.
5 counts of exploitation. So this guy's got a lot.
Wow. Okay.
So, and that's in Hendersonville. 58-year-old man. I don't recognize him. Or 59.
59. Yeah.
Wonder where he worked.
I don't know. I don't want to look at him anymore if that's okay.
No.
All right.
It is not not.
Oh, it has nothing to.
No,
they've had a investigation with him. It said since October 2nd.
Yeah, and that 50 counts is probably right. It looks like there's a lot.
Misty, thank you for being here, by the way. And Misty says, "Thank God he is off the streets." I agree 100%.
Yeah, I mean, if this is obviously he's got his day in court, but
it looks like
grief.
maybe tit for tat's going to bed. Maybe it's about time for us to.
Yeah, it's kind of late anyway.
It's getting late, and I'm sure some of our other friends have already started their streams. And
yeah,
Mrs. E, would you take a look at your phone?
I saw it. I know about that.
Just now. Okay.
I know about it. Mm-hmm. It's not anything to talk about right now.
Oh, I know. I just wanted to make sure that you had that information.
I do.
All right.
Okay. Tit for tat was just saying, I'm still here. I was just saying good night to everyone.
And I the other, as far as anything coming up anytime real soon, just want to mention, of course, Bullhorn Betty's got her
yes
court date on the 20th.
I agree, Brandy.
And although that's not really directly related to this case, it is possible that some of the parents will be there. I don't even know if they have to be or not for that. I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
They may or may not be, but I know there's a lot of interest in it. Of course, we'll whether we're there or not, we'll make sure we let everyone know what happened. This will be I guess this is where they'll actually hear the criminal part of it. So they're no longer deciding the protective order. They'll be determining whether or not those 6 counts are valid or not. And so that'll be what'll be determined by the judge. And it will be my understanding is that I think it's a different judge than the one she's had before. So
right.
That could be good or bad. I don't know how that'll
it
go.
Could go a lot of different ways,
It
could go a lot of different ways. I keep seeing, and I'm giggling because people are like, "We've only got 5 minutes till the video. Hurry up and get your likes in, and play the video." Wine Time says, "Play the video."
Well, so what did you decide about if we hit 1,000?
Oh, Marlena's birthday's coming up. Well, happy birthday in advance, Marlena.
You could play the crime dog video.
Auntie had sent something. I'll show you all something cute
because it was from Deception Detective.
Hold on, I'll play it. Give me a second. Talk to people.
I'm going to go hit like and do my part. Yeah, we're not hitting 1,000.
No,
we're not hitting 1,000.
No, we're close.
They're trying to pressure you into 500 because you said that thing earlier.
I said what thing?
Because you said something to the effect of maybe I should play it
because we got 1,000.
Because we got 1,000
last time.
Well, that way the replay crew gets to
enjoy
take part. That was my thinking.
Okay, well, let's play this, and then I don't know. Okay, let's see.
Well, it looks.
It's from Deception Detective.
Yeah, I think you need it in context.
Okay. Hold on. I got to pull it up. Let's see. Well, let's see. And then I have to mute us because I have to go through all these steps.
I stopped after class at the lost and found. I stopped after class at the lost and found.
There you go.
I thought
You're
it was
right.
so cute because Deception Detective said, finally some body language I can understand.
That's hilarious because that's funny. But yeah, that when they try to pull the dog off and it comes back and clutches back on those
That is
calves,
so
that is very
precious.
cute.
I know. It says they adopted it. It's an abandoned dog, and they were taking it for a walk before they adopted it, and it was afraid it was
Yeah.
going to get abandoned again, and so it was just
Oh
holding
my
on.
stars.
I
Pretty
know,
cute.
that's sweet.
And that is funny from Deception Detective because he puts like very little value on body language, so that's his joke. you know?
Yeah, I thought it was cute. That's why I
Yeah.
liked it.
Yeah, it's good.
And also, Jennifer Coffindaffer has had a couple tweets about Sebastian that might be worthy of people taking a look at in the last day or so.
Well, we could pull that up too. If you
I'm
want.
doing it right now.
Yeah, before we stay on it a little longer.
Let's see.
I forgot about these. I knew we wanted to talk about Coffin Daffer. I forgot about it.
I'm just really glad that she's still keeping his name out there and constantly reminding people about him.
Well, to me, anytime you have somebody with that FBI background, I'm interested in what they've got to say about the case.
Mhm.
So
Me too.
Hold on.
that whether I agree or not, I'm always wanting to listen to it because they've got the real life experience on it.
Absolutely. Hold on. I'm still trying to get it. We're going to have to hire a producer that will work for nothing. That will work for nothing.
Blind Time gave us a $2 super chat, and it says machete video, LOL.
I mean, talk about the pressure. The pressure. Okay, so you want to read this one?
So this is are you going to put it on the screen or you want me to just read?
It's on the screen.
Okay. Well, it wasn't.
It is now.
Yeah.
Do you want to? I have it bigger here. There you go.
All right.
Don't kick yourself out.
So Jennifer Caffendaffer, this is her ex account. Sebastian Rogers is still missing. His mother, Katie Proudfoot, saw him last. She said he went to bed on a Sunday night. She said after he went to bed, she heard a loud thud, but just yelled at Sebastian to get to bed and did not investigate. Was Katie's thud description setting up an excuse for what really happened to Sebastian? It's been almost 9 months. Still no Sebastian. Still no charges. Still no answers. I do think that about the thud is a really good question and a decent possibility. The cases of Sebastian and Summer Wells have run parallel courses. I hope Sebastian eloped and is found. It's possible. It's just not probable. The FBI is offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to Sebastian. This says a lot. Dog the Bounty Hunter is still involved with searching for him, as is Nick the Hat. They have offered $75,000 for information leading to Sebastian or what happened to him. That number is actually higher, but she probably just wasn't aware of that at this point. Katie works in the home security business, yet no cameras at Sebastian's house that caught his purported middle of the night shoeless exit. Good for her to highlight maybe the most important detail of that story. No neighborhood cameras saw Sebastian either. In fact, not one person has seen Sebastian Rogers after Katie put him to bed, at least that is talking about it. Sebastian was autistic. He was 15. He had no phone. How would he get money and shelter in frigid Tennessee in February without help, or did he ever leave that house alive? and then has all the details of Sebastian, the date missing, and the Amber Alert. So just a kind of good reminder of some of the big key details and sort of red flags about this case and why it doesn't seem to be a runaway situation. So it's nice for us to all sort of get reminded on that, and of course, great for her to use her platform to show that picture. I love this one actually. With this Amber Alert, the picture there in the black and white.
Yeah,
and
it's a
everything.
good picture. He's so handsome.
I mean, just so handsome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I see a lot of both of them in him.
You know,
actually.
there's somebody on one of those Facebook pages. I think it's the Justice for Sebastian. It might be one of the other ones. I'm on so many I can't remember where I've seen stuff. But somebody's been putting out these videos that are like their theory, and it's like a part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they're on 7 or 8 at this point. And one of the things they're honing in on is this Amber Alert, and how the Amber Alert really is only supposed to be issued when there's belief that it's an abduction, and that it was issued almost right away, like in the 2nd or 3rd day or so, that it got raised to an Amber Alert, and that there's not really a lot of wiggle room in that. So the Amber Alerts are kind of rare. You don't just put them out there for runaways. So
Well, I thought it was
interesting.
because of his medical.
Yeah, but the guidelines don't say.
Oh, okay.
I think is what the point they were making is it doesn't give it doesn't factor in your medical situation.
Here's another Jennifer Coffendorfer that I think you might like.
Okay. Nothing has changed since day 11. See the clip below. We are now at almost 9 months. Apparently, law enforcement is still not confirming or denying foul play. This case mimics the Summer Wells case, except the fact that the FBI is offering a $50,000 reward so significant.
That's interesting too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that $50,000 reward is huge, and like you were saying, Auntie, a little earlier, that's another indicator that more than one person has some guilty knowledge of what happened.
Well, Susan Smith says, I thought it was because of the cold temps moving in is why they elevated it to an Amber Alert. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I just remember getting the alert.
I think there's criteria, and it has to meet a certain criteria in order to be put as an Amber Alert.
I have to see who was putting these videos together and check it out. But they were making some interesting points about a variety of things, and that was one of them.
You lost yourself again.
I'm not even touching.
I'm telling you, StreamYard's wonky.
So maybe we'll look back into that about the Amber Alerts and make sure these guidelines don't include things.
And I
like,
forgot to say hello to Detroit Rock City and R. Taylor. Welcome in, friends. We're happy you're here. I will say that Marlena really is going to pull your heartstrings on this one.
Well, I say let's just go ahead and unless we want to do the talk about the people that were outside of AtNight's house.
We can.
We can just talk about it a little bit, or we could show the pictures if we want.
If you give me a minute.
Audacity said it's for imminent danger due to his medical complexities.
See, that's what I thought.
So
yeah, but is that in the guidelines?
I don't know. We can check into it.
Yeah, I think that was the point they were making, that's what they told the people. And maybe that's the case.
Grammy says Amber Alerts vary state to state and criteria varies state to state. You would think that would be something that would be a national criteria.
Yeah, like a standard.
And there's people that don't like a lot of the way that the alerts work, that they should maybe be used more often. And, the girl we were talking about earlier, the Trinity Bostic, that was found at Costco. I watched the mom's account. Of course, she's devastated, but I check on her once in a while and just see how that case is going and that kind of thing. And she's that situation there was no notice of any kind put out that she was missing, and had been missing for several days, and so there she is she is trying to get some things changed, and they may be looking at suing the city for that, but because it wasn't like issued anywhere on their
Right.
website or anything.
Okay, here you go. Here's your AtNight.
And this happened on November 16th.
This happened Saturday. Mhm.
Okay, so I'm going to pull this. I got to make it larger for me to read it. At approximately 3 a.m. on November 16th, 2 unidentified males were observed engaging in calculated and potentially intimidatory behavior at a private residence in Pennsbury Township. This incident raises concerns about targeted harassment or other disruptive activity aimed at AtNight personnel or associated contractors. The suspects fled moments before Pennsylvania State Police arrived. Incident details. Both individuals concealed their identities with hooded sweatshirts. One individual acted aggressively, banging on the front door, while the other stayed back as if acting as a lookout. So individual one.
Oh, sorry.
They give a description of the clothing: black hoodie with a large Purdue logo, gray sweatpants, blue wristband, possibly from a recent event or venue.
Didn't they determine who it was?
They have been identified.
Yeah. So let's just skip, So
Okay.
basically, here's the pictures.
Yeah. So this is we don't know.
We don't know who they are. Yeah, but
Well,
these are basically the pictures.
Yeah.
Um,
So clearly
did-
these
they
people
were
were
finding
aware
them.
of cameras and
Yeah.
trying to keep their faces covered.
Right.
Uh,
So
I've
But
heard
anyway.
I've heard some people think that the one in the back looks female.
it's hard to say.
It's really hard to know in those sweatshirts like that, but yeah. So that's
That's scary.
that's scary. No matter what that situation was. I mean, it doesn't. It sounds like So we've had several things like this that have happened, and you've got whoever's residence this was. You had the thing with Hong. Everybody's seen that, and he lived supposedly pretty far off the road. Then you had the fake FBI agent at Taco's house, Uncle Taco. So a lot of really weird scenarios, and it's hard to know if any or all of these are directly tied to this or not.
Right. We were discussing that today.
So it could be possible that these people were engaged in some other kind of criminal act, and it's just a coincidence that it's this person's house, or maybe not. And then maybe the one at Hong was innocent, and this one's, that it's hard to know. But there's some danger with all this,
For sure.
potentially.
All right. Since we love you guys so much, I think we should do the video. It looks like it's
Sure.
also GTO, his birthday as well.
Well, happy birthday, GTO. Happy birthday,
421
Marlena.
GTO guy, Don S. Ugh, my birthday. I'm guessing it's his birthday as well. So we will go ahead and just this once, and also wine time, greasing our palms to try to get us to play it. Just kidding. We will play the machete video and then we'll wrap it up because we've almost been going about 3 hours. And like I said, we have other friends that are live and we want everybody to be able to enjoy them as well. Susan Smith has something. Read that.
Tennessee just updated their Amber Alert criteria in the last 2 years after the abduction of Noah Clare, which also was in Sumner County. He was abducted by his father. I think it's called Noah's Law. Yeah, I think I'm reading that right now, actually. So I'm going to see how this might have changed.
And Detroit Rock City says they should definitely make it cover any missing child, no matter what the circumstance.
So here's the counter argument to that. If you do it every single time and it's like a custody issue or whatever, then you end up with thousands of Amber Alerts and it gets lost in the noise.
It's kind of like getting oversaturated.
Right. And that'd be the hard thing, because how many of these missing kids end up being found within hours and they're with a friend, or it's not people would just start to tune it out. So I do understand why they have a criteria. It's just hard to say where that line should be. Of course, anybody that's lost their child, they want the Amber Alert, of course.
One
Sure.
time wants to point out that Amber Alerts are different in different states. I think we said that. Though.
Yeah.
Thank you, though. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I think you just want that video played soon. That's what I think. Well, let's see. I am going to do a couple of videos actually, real quick. I am going to do a happy birthday video for our birthday people. Happy birthday, you guys. If we don't see you. And Wine Time has sent another super chat, different colors. What's
I'm not sure. What that means.
I know. Maybe doing different types of colors for the alerts, like
And
based
have
on
spe-
severity.
Yeah, that would make sense.
But see, yeah, there's I could see it both ways actually. All right, so let me get back to our other video. Are you guys ready? Okay, I have to mute us.
She also said she was going to bring a machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
She also said she was going to bring a machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
She also said she was going to bring a machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
Machete.
Karate.
All right. I hope that made you guys happy. Everybody loves that so much.
Everybody's noticing that I'm yawning.
I know.
I know it's late for her. She's an
Sorry.
hour ahead of us, guys.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's 11:30 my time. Usually, though, we've gone till midnight before, and I can handle it. I don't know why I'm tired today.
I'll just as far as it's Amber Alert, I just kind of did a quick read on this amendment to this law. I don't think that applies to this situation. It seems to be it's more of a custodial thing. But we can look more into it and see what the criteria are. But I don't think that amendment applied to this because it seems like this amendment had to do specifically with custodial issues. So anyway, but anyway, I haven't read all of it, so we'll see.
Also,
I'm not sure.
I was going to tell Rosebud, I like Side Eye Seth so much. I just made a Side Eye Seth clip for myself, just so I can go.
I swear it should be. It's like
We actually told him that at the vigil.
We
We
did.
told him that he needed to make a shirt with that on it because that's a good side
I mean,
eye.
it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Oh, everybody's so happy you let
Yes,
them do
yes,
that. Well, that was for our special birthday people and
1,000 from last time.
1,000 from last time.
I think that counts. We hit 1,000 again. We'll let's do it.
I have another video, but he won't let me play it. So I'll have to make another funny one. Let's see.
Yeah, someone was just asking if Betty's court case will be streamed.
Somebody
I
wants you to read Karen Alberini's question.
Okay, I didn't see it. Rosebud wants one. Well, I will let him know that we told him we were like that's the best. You should copyright that thing.
Question.
What's that?
His side eye.
Oh yeah,
it's the best.
Yeah.
Oh, Karen's question was, "Are you going to court?" They'd already answered it, but you all can answer it again.
Sure.
That we're going to court. We might. I'm not sure.
We have an event at our one of our kids' schools that day, and if it works out, we were going to try to go, but our kids obviously come first. So if it doesn't work out, we'll be with our kids.
The timing's kind of close, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I've seen Mrs. Z give Mr. E that look. The side eye.
I know. I do. Well, I've been trying to get him to let me move across the way, but he needs my computer screens because clearly he keeps knocking himself offline. So.
I guess I'm not seeing the side eye. I guess I don't see it. I'm looking straight ahead.
I mean, let's be honest. I don't have a poker face on here.
No, you don't.
So it's quite frequent that I make faces depending on what's going on. Even in chat, I'm like, oh, ooh, you know.
I know because sometimes I'm talking about something and I can just tell a lot of that something's going on.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lisa's happy. First time her hubby got to see the side-eye video. Well, let's
Yes,
just show it
yes.
to her one more time. Love that.
Oh,
Love
man,
that so
that
much.
was so good. That whole court TV appearance was pretty good. Anyway, they kind of let it fly that night.
Everybody's
Yeah,
wanting
see
a
that-
Seth side-eye. We told him we're like that. People would buy that.
See,
That's really funny.
This is the way I understand it too. I think there's a vehicle that's supposed to be involved as well, and a description of it. So I'll go back through. I'll find the whole law in between our next stream and this, and see for sure. There might be some caveats where there's other exceptions made.
GTO guy says, I need a machete shirt. That's funny.
Machete.
Machete shirt. And thank you, Lana. Lana's so sweet.
Thank you, Lan. We appreciate it. Well, you guys got anything else tonight?
Now I think we ought to wrap it up.
Auntie's dying to go to bed, so we gotta let her do that.
I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow, and I got stuff to do.
Yeah. Well, we got through a lot of stuff tonight. There was a lot to catch up on in this few days.
Also, I saw that Misty was asking for prayers for her mom. So please give prayers to Misty's mom. And
Certainly will.
let's pray for Sebastian's safe return. And pray for peace for his parents. And all, I guess, all the kids in the world and families that are missing them. Yeah. So, everybody, let's just pray for everybody. Let's pray for the world.
Well, yeah, we had a few situations we've been talking about. The person, whoever this is, that was out in Hickman County,
right?
Seth today, who I'm sure had a rough afternoon with that.
It had to be hard,
yeah. And pray for continued tips to come in and more information. And these investigators who are putting themselves in some potentially dangerous situations, staking out these Motel 6s and following these people around, acting suspicious and whatnot. It's not safe work. There's some risk to it. So should all pray for their safety and success.
Oh, Graham, you're gonna make my heart melt.
Yeah, thank you, Graham. I always appreciate you being here. You always got great comments, and so thank you for saying that. But I guess we'll go. I don't know when we'll be back next. Oh,
that's funny. It's funny that people want to get in the insults and get banned right before we close out.
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah.
Well, last chance. Last call for insults.
Last call for insults.
All right. Well, thank you guys.
I'm in a banning mood tonight, so I wouldn't mess with me. All right. Oh, and Jenna Machete, thank you. And thanks for becoming a mod. And thanks to our new moderators. And thanks to Busby and CJ and Lolly and all the people who came to visit tonight. We appreciate you. And I'm going to get everything ready. Let's see. I'm not quite ready. You guys talk while I'm getting ready. I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
All right. All right. And now I'm ready. All right. Thank you guys and have a wonderful evening. Thank you for being here with us. We know you can be a lot of different places in the world and you chose to be with us and we appreciate that. And now I can't find it.
Yeah.
And now I can't find it. Oh, here we go. All right. Have a good night.
Thank you, everybody.
Night.